family.
He served 6 terms in Congress, and notably, he was governor of Minnesota during the George Floyd riots, in which he himself characterized the response to the destructive riots as, quote, an abject failure. Expect Republicans to exploit more progressive laws that were signed by Walz as governor of Minnesota, like, for instance, his first executive order established a DEI council. He signed an executive order guaranteeing gender-affirming care for transgender youth, a bill guaranteeing abortion rights, free college tuition, as well as signing a free universal school meals bill.
Fox's Brian Yennis in Philadelphia. Walz in a statement wrote, "It's the honor of a lifetime," saying he's all in. The two will appear together this evening in Philadelphia. Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance earlier said the pick of Governor Walz goes along with the policies of Vice President Harris, which he called radical. This afternoon, he's rallying in Philadelphia.
Kamala Harris has been such a disaster as vice president of this country that everywhere she goes, chaos and uncertainty follow.
Vance telling the crowd Donald Trump will restore order to the country. He also said he will wait until the convention to see if Walz is the actual vice presidential nominee. The judge in former President Trump's hush money trial is pushing back a date for a key ruling on presidential immunity until 2 days before Trump's scheduled sentencing. The immunity decision had been due September 6th, with the sentencing set for September 18th. Now the immunity ruling is set for September 16th, if it's still needed, after he decides next week whether to recuse himself. America is listening to Fox News.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We have a cool front on the way, and during the summertime, that's always a good thing. Sunny and hot and humid this afternoon, maybe a stray storm. 98 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, windy from the north. 68 Wednesday. Mostly sunny skies. Nice drop in humidity, 82, with a wonderful stretch of weather Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunshine, low humidity in the mid-80s. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Considering new windows, I want you to talk to my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here. They have got a great deal going for you right now. Up to 36 months financing, interest-free, with approved credit. They've never done this before at Window World, so take advantage of this. Call them today at 314-993-1800. Again, 314-993-1800. You hear me talk about Window World. I'm a satisfied customer. I've got their windows in my house. I've been to their offices, and I've stood on these windows. I've seen how well built they are. They go in and they are meant to last. You wouldn't give a lifetime warranty on a product if you didn't think it was going to last for a long time, and they stand behind that warranty. In over 20 years of business, they have helped more than 72,000 customers in St. Louis improve the look and the thermal efficiency of their home. Call them today, get your free estimate, and ask about that 36-month financing, 314-993-1800. or windowworld.com.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And when you join My Lowe's Rewards for free, the savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers, plus earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards, just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it. Literally. Learn more about our loyalty program at lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards and become a member for free today. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful you'll make every move matter. Locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Leagues Cup 2024 is here. Cheer on City SC as they take on the Portland Timbers this Friday, August 9th at City Park. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com, starting at just $25.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Happy Tuesday. Missouri is a big day for you. I hope that it's lunchtime right now. There are a lot of people right now getting into their cars, going to vote at lunchtime in the state of Missouri. You have so many great options to choose from. It's a big day. I've got the whole crew in here right now because Will Scharf's going to come in and finish the 12 o'clock hour out with us. And I wanted to get Ryan in here because we're going to push Wiggins America to the 2 o'clock hour. So we're all in here. What is the biggest race that you're looking to see unfold today, Ryan?
Well, AG's one of them, so it's good that we had Bailey on yesterday. We'll have Will on today.
They're both great candidates.
They're both good.
We had Bailey on yesterday. Will on today.
Yeah. I was just saying before this, and I think I talked to a few people around the office yesterday, who's the front runners? People are going, we don't know. That's what's so interesting about today's primary is that there doesn't seem to be in these big marquee races. And to answer your question, to me, the biggest one is still governor because we don't know. I mean, we do not know who's going to win that race.
How dramatically does the state of Missouri take one direction or the other? And listen, I know you're listening to the show. You are in Missouri and you are passionately behind one of these candidates. And just as a word of encouragement to you, all good things, all positive vibes, that where the state of Missouri will be with a Republican nominee tomorrow, you guys are infinitely ahead of everyone else, and your ability to hold your representatives and elected officials accountable, it's exceedingly envious of it.
And remember, Donald Trump endorsed all three of these guys. So
he just endorsed Missouri.
Yeah. So if he had a problem with one of them, he would have said so. You know he would have.
Well, I think that's an interesting point, too, because he endorsed both Will Scharf and Andrew Bailey. I think that's because it's close. I don't always think Donald Trump is trying to help people win as much as he wants credit for the winners.
Absolutely. 100%.
He's just trying to hedge his bets. I get it politically, but he doesn't want it. Yeah, everybody said, like, the entire leftist media, if he endorses one person over the other and the other person wins, they just blame it on him.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I saw some story about a random race in the middle of nowhere that he endorsed a candidate, and this is like within the last couple of days, who then lost, and then he had to endorse the person who replaced him, and it was like scandal.
It just literally happens in every cycle, every time.
Yeah, so I think you're right. Donald Trump, I don't think this is a secret, Donald Trump loves winning. And he wants you to be tired of winning. He loves it so much. So the fact that he's going to endorse these candidates, again, back to the original point here, that you've got great candidates in Missouri. To your question, though, Annie, what's going to be different if one candidate wins over another, especially in the governor's race? I would, and this isn't a perfect comparison, but let's say you had a Ron DeSantis in Florida who was not as good at going out and being Ron DeSantis in the media. I think that's your difference, is that you might have pretty similar policies, but that some of them are going to be able to sort of trumpet those policies differently than others. And that doesn't mean they're all lined up perfectly on those policies, but they're all conservative. And that is a good thing, that you're basically voting for, hopefully, the eventual governor today.
Well, in this state of Missouri, of course, the headline news is going to be a little bit different than most other places. The headline in most other places is the announcement of a vice presidential candidate for Kamala Harris. Now, Tim Walz, and I'm going to be honest, I've been watching this news all morning. I forgot what his first name was until I looked down at the paper.
Tim.
I have noticed his name is spelled W-A-L-Z. That the only way that I can remember how to say it, because it could be Waltz. It's missing a T.
Mm-hmm.
Waltz, whatever. And I literally heard them say it enough I thought to myself, okay, it rhymes with one of our number one listeners, balls. on Twitter and on the YouTube. He's always there. He's been there forever. And he spells his name with a Z. And I thought, I have to remember that.
Okay.
They're probably one and the same, just like each other.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. I wonder if we could say build the walls now.
Build the walls. No.
I don't think he's for that.
Maybe that's the play. That would be the first part of this pick to me that made sense. We're going to learn a little bit about Tim Walz here. He's the governor of Minnesota. Before we get to his resume from a Fox News reporter, Brian Yennis, he gave a great run through of this, and we're going to watch this. It's like 4 minutes, so we'll probably come in and out of it. But if you want to know who he is, we've got that for you. Brian Yennis did a great setup for him. Here's Jason Chaffetz this morning, because he worked with him on Tim Walz.
Yeah, and wasn't he the guy 2-3 weeks ago who emerged from the White House having spent more than an hour with Joe Biden, said, all's fine. He's great. He's in great shape. He's the right guy to go run for president. So, and for Nancy Pelosi to say he's middle of the road, I'm sorry. I served in Congress with Tim Walz. I've spent time with the man. Nice guy, but he is so far liberal left. He middle of the road for San Francisco, but not middle of the road for America. Go explain to America what you mean by, oh, yeah, I want to make sure that, the state takes control over your children if they want to go change their gender when they're minors. This is the type of radical left that they are trying to paint as middle of America, and it's not.
I was shocked when I had the headline. I'm laying in bed, I'm reading articles, getting ready for the show this morning, and the Fox News alert comes across the top of my phone notification. Scroll down, I'm like, oh, there's a pick, and I've been dreading Shapiro being picked. And I clicked on it, and I'm alone in my house except for my Australian Shepherd, Rosie, who is laying on the bed. Open up the article, and I go, what? And Rosie, picks up her head and looks at me, and then she just put her head back down. And I thought, yeah, hopefully that's what America does. All right, so let's get to the Brian Yennis report here on who Tim Walz is, what he brings to the ticket. Let's listen in.
Yeah, a lot going on indeed. And you know what? No one's more surprised than the folks here in Pennsylvania who thought that their governor, Josh Shapiro, was indeed the front runner to be Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate. Instead, he is scheduled to join the stage tonight here in Philadelphia to support a rally that is instead for Harris and her pick, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Harris taking to X, posting this, quote, I am proud to announce that I've asked Tim Walz to be my running mate as a governor, a coach, a teacher, and a veteran. He's delivered for working families like his. It's great to have him on the team. Now let's get to work. Join us. Walz also posting on X, quote, it is the honor of a lifetime to join Harris in this campaign. I'm all in. Vice President Harris is showing us the politics of what's possible. It reminds me a bit of the first day of school. So let's get this done, folks. Join us. Walz was endorsed by the progressives in the Democratic Party like Senator Bernie Sanders and the United Auto Workers Union. He's recently famous for coining the attack line, calling former President Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance weird.
So there's an interesting thing. The whole word weird became a political buzzword, apparently, according to this guy. Now, I find it interesting that if you were to paint the picture of a Midwestern old white guy, like if you were going to try to out-dad J.D. Vance as Midwestern white dude, Tim Walz is the depiction of this guy. You know he's got some New Balance up in there. I do too. I wear New Balance too. I love New Balance. But he looks like the old white guy that I thought was the proverbial enemy. I looked it up here. July 15th is when Reuters initially reported that they would have a virtual vote. They said that there was a question about the Ohio ballot. They said that there was, they wanted to make sure Ohio had changed its ballots to make sure that that Joe Biden could be included, but just to be super certain, because they had fixed the problem. But they said, just to be super certain, we're gonna nominate Biden virtually, so there's no challenges possible. July 15th, Reuters reports that they are going to nominate Joe Biden on a virtual vote. July 21st, Biden drops out. There is no way in hell that they did not know on July 15th that Joe Biden was not going to be the nominee. They knew. And if you look at the fact that Josh Shapiro is not the guy who's on the ticket, why in the world do you not try to win Pennsylvania? The presidency goes through Pennsylvania. It's 20 electoral votes off the top of my head. You need Pennsylvania. You have to have it. Shapiro is wildly popular. Why do you not pick the obvious choice for the ticket? There are suggestions that Shapiro declined. There are suggestions that should there have been a primary or the potential to challenge the nominee at the convention, where you would allow at least the delegates who had been voted in favor for Joe Biden, and Joe Biden released those delegates to do what they want. There is a possibility that Shapiro could have been more popular than Kamala Harris and potentially at said convention scoop the nomination up from her.
Oh.
There's a lot of suggestions out there that Shapiro is more popular than Kamala Harris is, that he would be more liked than Kamala Harris was, so that the idea of putting them on the same ticket is not good for Kamala Harris. My opinion is that on July 15th, when Reuters reported that they were going to virtually nominate Joe Biden, they weren't talking about Joe Biden at all. That they were talking about Kamala Harris, and that they knew that they would have to get this virtual, we're just going to make sure that we virtually get the nomination for Joe Biden locked in, just to be super certain. Because Ohio, you're not going to win Ohio. You don't even need to play for those electoral votes. Ohio's not going blue. I think they did this so they could have the nomination, whomever it was going to be, Kamala or whomever else, have the nomination locked up so you couldn't do anything at the convention. Because if you have a contested convention, it would tear the Democrat Party apart.
Well, whatever it is, it's about saving democracy.
Shut up.
So whatever has to go on behind the scenes to save democracy so that people don't have to vote, I'm in support of that.
I kind of want to go back to that July 15th day or whatever when we reported on it, because I kind of remember being like, that's weird.
They've been talking about that for a while because of the Ohio thing. I don't know. I really think Joe Biden, of course, I was saying this right up until July 21st, that Joe Biden was going to stay in the race. I think he thought he was going to stay in the race.
He still thinks he's in the race.
Well, you know what? That's a darn good point.
Democracy, right?
It's all about democracy.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Will Scharf, our friend, in studio with us. It's Election Day, Missouri. You know that. You're voting. Would love to have your feedback on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat. If you want to talk to us about where you think that this Election Day is going to go, we've got great coverage for you tonight. Can you talk about that real quick? Can you give me 30 seconds
absolutely.
on our coverage this evening?
So Mark Reardon is doing his show as normal. Then he will take over at 7 as voting closes. And he will be with you all through the evening with a ton of guests, lots of experts coming in, up-to-the-minute reports constantly as we get results throughout the entire evening.
Yeah, we got you covered right here. So stick your radio to 97.1. Don't go away. We'll be back in studio here with Will Scharf, and we love taking your questions when Will comes in. He's not afraid of any of them. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Cassins and Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Go online to CassinsCan.com. That's CassinsCan.com. I trust Cassins with my vehicle purchases. I think this is how I like to purchase cars, which is my son is going to get his permit at the end of the year, and we might be looking into a third vehicle that is super affordable, if anything's affordable these days. I'm going to go to Cassins because I'm going to get the best price on that vehicle, but I'm also going to be able to trust that the vehicle that I put my newly 16-year-old son in is going to be one that I can trust, that's going to keep him safe. They're good people at Cassins. I mean that in the best possible way. Good people. The sales folks at Cassins have been there for decades in some cases. They have super low turnover, and people come back and repeat buy from the same people over and over because they earn their business back every time they make that purchase for a car. Reach out to Cassins if you have a certain vehicle you're looking for, or just drive through their lot. Incredibly simple to get to. Get on 270 in Illinois, head north on 159 into Glen Carbon. It's like a mile north, and you're at Cassins. It's right across from pretty much Walmart there in Glen Carbon. Great people I trust with my vehicle purchases, and you can too. 618-800-2712, 618-800-2712, CassinsCan.com.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof,
314-645-2000.
I'm Tim Fitch, former councilman and police chief in St. Louis County, and I've seen firsthand how politicians have failed us. When I was on the county council, I saw Democrat Sam Page bail out Ernie Trachis from a sexual harassment claim using $60,000 of your taxpayer money. Trachis has been paying back liberal Sam Page ever since. Even the Post-Dispatch called Ernie Trachis Page's Republican ally on the council. I even witnessed Trachis try to defund our police. It's time for someone to stand up for you, not Sam Page's liberal agenda. On August 6th, vote conservative Republican Mike Archer for county council. Mike Archer supports law enforcement and has earned the endorsement of the St. Louis County Police Officers Association. Mike Archer, a small business owner, will cut red tape and support local businesses so they can thrive. He believes in fiscal responsibility and lower taxes. Mike stands for our Second Amendment rights, defending our families and our homes. It's time for change in St. Louis County. On August 6th, vote conservative Republican Mike Archer for county council.
I'm Mike Archer, and I approve this message paid for by Archer for county council, James Murphy, treasurer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This could be your final opportunity to secure the carefree villa home of your dreams at the Preserve in Afton. Our homes provide a lifestyle of convenience and relaxation, free from the hassles of lawn care, landscaping, and snow removal. With prices starting in the 400s, we will build to order or select from one of our 6 move-in ready designer market homes and save thousands, including special 3.9% financing if qualified. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Missouri primary election results are here tonight. This is Mark Reardon, and we've got anchored coverage of all the latest results as they come in. All the races up and down the ballot, starting at 7, right when the polls close, live on 97.1 FM Talk tonight.
Everybody get up.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Hey, welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Happy Election Day, Missouri. It is Missouri primary election day. Finally, August 6th. It felt like this day would never get here. And I can't wait to hear the results tonight as you go to vote. A lot of you probably out in your car right now, headed to vote or coming back from voting. Good for you for participating in the system. You have an amazing list of options in front of you. One of those is Will Scharf, and he's in studio with us right now. Will, welcome back.
Thanks so much, Annie. This was my first ever radio interview when I left the U.S. Attorney's Office, so I'm glad that my last in-studio interview before primary day concludes is with you all, ending things right where we started it.
Thank you so much. I remember, I mean, I am on Twitter at weird hours at night, and I remember reading your first thread, and was it about crime and police?
Yeah, it was about crime in St. Louis and just how messed up a situation it is and the real dangers that police officers face on the streets, which I still continue to believe most people don't fully understand just how dangerous a job it is to be a police officer, especially in a city like St. Louis.
And that blew up. You guys had me in, and I think I announced a couple weeks later for AG. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. You know, we've been all over the state. We've driven 57,000 miles since the start of this campaign, met with literally tens of thousands of people, hundreds of speeches, hundreds of TV appearances. It's been crazy. It's been humbling. I won't say that I'm just excited for it to be over. We're hoping to pull down a big win tonight. But one way or the other, I'm really glad that we did this, and it's just been an incredible experience.
Well,
I've obviously never run for office before, so all of this was totally new to me.
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch this unfold. And meanwhile, you're running for Missouri Attorney General. You just dabbled in some attorney opportunity with Donald Trump.
Yeah, it was weird. I said to one of my campaign guys the other night, if I hadn't been running for AG, I probably wouldn't have been as aggressive trying to insert myself into really the Trump campaign at first. And then I started writing and doing media appearances on all of his cases. And I think that's really why my team here in Missouri ended up getting hired by the president. And, we're hyper-aggressive Missouri lawyers, constitutional lawyers. We came up with the presidential immunity theory, which ended up winning at the Supreme Court last month.
Just pause for a second and think about what you just said.
Yeah. It's a crazy, crazy thing that, one way or the other, I think this campaign changed history. And it was a great honor to get to represent Trump. It was a bigger honor to get to win for him in front of the Supreme Court time after time after time. And it's just, this has been the craziest year and a half of my life. I hope I never have a year and a half like this. My hairline keeps receding further and further back.
You don't need it.
As everybody on Twitter reminds me almost every day, I am a prematurely balding 38-year-old man. It's
always good to go to Twitter to get some, humbling judgment and reflection.
They are so mean to me on Twitter. We also have wonderful supporters on Twitter and just the best people. In real life too, but yeah, you have to understand that if you put yourself in the political space, you open yourself up to really vicious personal attacks. And I would just say to everybody on the ballot, to everyone who put their name on the ballot, who put themselves into the public sphere, congratulations. It's not an easy step to take. It's not an easy process. I've made incredible friends with some of the other folks who are running statewide or for state rep or state senate districts. It's a trial by fire sort of situation. And I'm just proud of the campaign that we've built, the incredible grassroots supporters we have all over the state. It's been humbling. It's been amazing. And I'm glad that today is finally election day. And to all of your listeners, if you haven't voted yet, you have to get out to the polls and vote. I know it's 90 degrees. I was standing at a polling location in St. Charles from 6 a.m. until just a short while ago. You have to get out and vote. It is so important that we set this state in a more positive, more conservative direction for the future. And this is really our only opportunity, potentially for almost a decade, to do that.
We got Will Scharf in studio with us right now. He's a candidate for Missouri Attorney General. He's also a former federal prosecutor for the Eastern District of Missouri. He's been an attorney for Donald Trump and many of the legal challenges that Donald Trump has been facing here due to the lawfare of the current Biden Justice Department. If you step back, this on a state level, you're running for statewide office. You have been very up close and personal with the Trump team, more on the legal side, but certainly you've seen the campaign operation there. With everything that you know, where do you feel like the temperature is, the mood is of the American citizen right now? Because, of course, they're voters. But how do Americans feel right now in this moment that does happen to be a few months away from Election Day?
I think Americans are scared. We saw this incredible stock market collapse yesterday, which I think speaks to everybody's just real fears about what's going on in the world. We have a massive inflation problem in this country. We have a real problem with energy production and supply because of the Biden administration's failed policies. And then day by day, we just see the world exploding. We're about to see, I hope to God it doesn't happen, but it looks like it will, another major regional war break out in the Middle East. We've obviously seen Russia and Ukraine. China is getting increasingly threatening towards Taiwan. When you think about failures of leadership, the Biden-Harris administration has just failed on so many fronts that the world has become a much more dangerous, threatening place in a way that I think impacts Americans at a very personal level. I think the reason that Donald Trump is going to win is that even for people who don't love his personality, who don't love the mean tweets or whatever, under President Trump, the world was relatively peaceful. Our economy was strong. Our country was doing well. Our border was secure. Today, it's the opposite. And I think that all the window dressing they can put on it, and the media has this tremendous honeymoon right now with Kamala Harris, and she just rolled out this communist from Minnesota as her new running mate. I mean, the media is treating them with kid gloves, but I think the American people see through it for the simple reason that they understand they were far better off in 2019 than they are today. And the reason for that is you just had a much better president in the White House. So given the choice of giving Kamala another 4 years of the failed Biden administration or putting President Trump and J.D. Vance back in there, I think the American people are going to overwhelmingly choose Trump.
Do you know J.D. Vance?
Yeah, I don't know him like very well, but we've known each other for a while.
Is he
actually.
weird?
No, he's a great guy. He's brilliant.
What if he had said yes?
I would want to know. You heard it here.
No, I mean, he's a brilliant guy. He can be deeply cerebral at times. One of the things I admire the most about him is, and some politicians are very scripted and very staged. The reason the Democrats are sort of attacking him this way is that JD for years has been willing to go on any platform to do these long-form interviews talking about issues that are deeply important to him. And some of those views may, to some people seem like not what other politicians believe. But I think JD's worldview really matches that of the American people. He wants America to be strong, but doesn't want America to be involved in foreign wars. He wants American families to be strong. He wants American workers to be able to get good jobs that allow them to provide for their families. These are deeply rooted American values that may be foreign and weird to the left, to the coastal elites, to the press, to all of these folks who are criticizing him. But to most Americans, I think JD stands up for what we all believe in.
Why? Tim Walz is apparently the one who first put the weird thing out there. I mean, my opinion is when they call J.D. Vance weird, it's not really my opinion. I could prove it with facts. That then became a moniker. Instead of calling us ultra MAGA Republicans or whatever, now they just simplify it by saying weird. And, I have seen and read comments from and noticed that the people on the left, it's almost fetish-like how much they enjoy calling normies who are like not trolling on Twitter during the day because they're at work, these types of basic American principles, by calling them weird. And it's just too easy to be like, the other side is the weird side here. What is behind this whole weird idea? I
think in many respects, with JD in particular, it's rooted in jealousy. I mean, this is a guy who the left would view as a victim, grew up in, relatively crushing rural poverty, joined the Marines, went to Ohio State University, went to Yale Law School, built an incredible career for himself in law and business, wrote obviously a New York Times multi bestseller, and now has been very successful in politics. And on the side, he's built a wonderful, loving family with his wife and his children. And I think a lot of these people on the left look at that and they almost seethe with rage and jealousy that this is a guy who, in their mind, should believe the things that they believe because he's sort of the elite now. He should never, in their mind, have been able to make it as far as he did. And yet he's proof positive that America is still an incredible land of opportunity, and that if we just get out of people's way, if the government doesn't try to, step in and just fix every problem and instead lets people take advantage of the opportunities that are out there, that people can be successful and that families can thrive, and that a guy like J.D. Vance can rise to become the vice presidential nominee of a major political party. The weirdest thing in American politics by far today is Kamala Harris's weird laugh. I mean, that's what they don't want to talk about, that this is a person who's deeply awkward in her own skin. And everything about, frankly, her family situation is almost the opposite of JD's. I mean, these revelations about her husband having an affair that resulted in a baby and the baby is sort of missing. I mean, the fact that the press isn't applying the same scrutiny to every aspect of Kamala Harris's life that they're applying to J.D. Vance's life really speaks to the double standard that exists throughout American society when it comes to the right versus the left.
Yeah. I think that the Kamala Harris thing, I don't think anybody wants to listen to anybody else's laugh forever and ever. Like any laugh can get annoying after a while, but it's the timing.
Yeah.
It's like, what? That's not. She laughs instead of saying words, and the words she says, boy, they don't usually make sense unless they are very specific.
We have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah.
I mean, it's weird, but this is what she believes. I think the most telling moment of Kamala Harris's term as vice president was the time when she was asked, have you gone to the border? And she sort of laughed it off and then said, I haven't been to Europe either. And to me, that speaks to the fact that she doesn't understand why people are concerned about the border. Yeah. She doesn't understand the felt effect that people are seeing in their own communities of these unchecked immigration policies, these waves and waves of migrants taking jobs and bringing crime and all kinds of other social ills along with them, especially from countries that really are our enemies. I mean, this is a huge problem. England is obviously on fire today because of a similar problem. To Kamala Harris, it's inconceivable that anybody would question her commitment to really anything, or that anyone would call her out on her own failures, because throughout her life, the press and the liberal elites and the folks on the left have always sort of paved the way for her, and any sort of accountability for her actual decisions and her actual time in office to her is just a sort of foreign concept. That's why her campaign is preventing her from doing long-form interviews. That's why her campaign isn't allowing her to take questions on the stump, because Kamala Harris is so alienated, I believe, from what normal Americans believe, that if they were to allow her to be unscripted, this would turn into even more of an electoral bloodbath than I think it's going to be.
Yeah, she's like a computer software system that you can't update anymore. Like, it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't work with everything. When you listen to her talking, this is in March of 2021, about the border, this is what she had to say.
Do you plan to visit the border? Not today. But I have before, and I'm sure I will again.
So, yeah, it's funny. It's always funny to her. She gets asked again in a follow-up the next day, March 24th of 21, about the same issue. And
Will you and the president be going down to the border anytime soon?
At some point, absolutely, we will go down to the border, and I've been down to the border. And our Secretary of the Homeland Security, Alex Mayorkas, has been down there twice. Senior administration officials have been down there. And yes, we will go.
So they talk about needing to go to the border. That was a major issue in March of 2021. This is months after, like 2 months, February, March, after they would have been in office. In March of 2021, it was identified that the border was a key issue. This is after she was asked earlier in an interview if she would go down to the border, and she said she hadn't been there, and that was when she told us, and she also hasn't been to Europe. Like, list all the places you haven't been to explain why you haven't been to the southern border.
It's insane, and again, it speaks to the fact that folks on the left never want to be held accountable for their own actions. I mean, you look at the ticket they've assembled. So you have the governor of Minnesota, who basically said that it was okay for people to riot and burn Minnesota to the ground in the summer of 2020. And then you have Kamala Harris, who was posting bail money for those rioters. I mean, these are not the values that most Americans, that normal Americans hold. The idea that unchecked rioting in our streets is somehow a social good. It's not. It's terrible. Lives were ruined. Businesses were burned. People were killed. Here in St. Louis, we obviously saw the tragic death of David Dorn, a highly regarded retired police captain. I mean, this community was torn apart by exactly that sort of rioting. And yet Kamala Harris and her new running mate think that that's exactly the sort of thing that should go on in America. And to me, that's just terrifying.
We got Will Scharf in studio with us right now. Of course, it is Election Day in the state of Missouri. It is primary day. Make sure you get to your precinct and vote. Be heard. Today is the day. Will Scharf is running for Attorney General, and he's in here discussing that among all of the things politics with us. And he's going to stick around for another segment. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I see a few questions coming in on the YouTube live chat as well. So we'll get to those when we come back. If you go visit the chat, vote in the poll today. Who's weird? Republicans? Democrats? Both or neither? We want to know what you think. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the bagel loan guy. You can reach out to him directly at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. I got a note yesterday from a listener, and it was so sweet of them to send this into Stewie. Stewie forwarded it to me because this individual heard us talking yesterday and was just really grateful to hear Stewie's explanation of why maybe people might want to leave their 3% interest rate to whatever the a little bit lower rates are right now. You can trust Stewie. He knows what he's doing. I can't stress that enough. He understands this inside and out. You know, when the Fed makes a move, what's that mean for you? He will help you get into the absolute best situation for you and your mortgage, whether it's a new home purchase, new mortgage, or mortgage refinance. You can trust Stewie, and when you qualify for the bagel loan, you pay nothing in closing costs to secure that mortgage. It doesn't cost you anything. So reach out to him, 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Attention Missouri Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Paid for by Lori Rook from Missouri. Ryan Rook, Treasurer.
Tuesday, you have a choice between the Jefferson City Swamp or me, Lori Rook. If we don't act now, they will continue keeping us in the dark about Missouri's finances. So when you see Lori Rook in that list of names, remember that I'm the one who isn't bought and paid for. And I'm the one who will pull back the curtain on Jeff City and tell it like it is. Vote Lori Rook for Missouri State Treasurer because you deserve to know.
Home values are sky high and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for two things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest TrueHold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? TrueHold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. TrueHold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much TrueHold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Who's weird? Republicans, Democrats, both, or neither? That's today's YouTube live chat poll. Nope, you only get four choices. Republicans, Democrats, both, or neither. And neither would be me, right? That's the YouTube live chat poll. You'd get it by typing in Annie Fry into YouTube and let us know what you think. It is 12:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Mark Cox here. I've put together my Missouri voter guide just for you. Visit 971talk.com to see it because the future of our state is happening now. Get my voter guide at 971talk.com and go vote.
Drums, please.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
the right to vote is under attack in very specific ways in lots of states, especially in some of the deep South states, especially in Florida, which I just returned from. There's just unbelievable stuff going on there. Like if you have to send a mail-in ballot or absentee ballot, you have to have you can only have it taken to the mailbox or the polls by a member of your nuclear family who lives with you. Okay, so there's just a million traps for the unwary that are being set across the country.
Jamie Raskin there, very concerned about voting issues in Florida. Yeah, that's why you're losing Florida, Raskin. We got Will Scharf in studio here, and I wanted to set up this clip with you, Will, because I had put this out there based on this clip. We're all going to hear Jamie Raskin say something pretty ridiculous about the Supreme Court ruling. And I remember when the immunity thing came through, like the president himself and people all around him, President Biden and all of his folks were like, you could like shoot your opponent. You could go take your opponent out. And then what happened? Somebody goes and shoots Donald Trump. I mean, I think that they say these things that we should take them very seriously. This is what he just said about
going
the
on
Supreme
right
Court.
now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. And
Will Scharf, what do you think that Jamie Raskin is saying when he speaks that way?
Well, so let's be very clear. The Supreme Court looked at the disqualification issue under the 14th Amendment this year, and they ruled 9-0. I mean, I was there. It was 9-0 that President Trump was not disqualified. Now, could Congress choose to reject electoral votes and declare someone to be an insurrectionist? Could they pass legislation potentially to implement that and have Joe Biden sign it with his sort of last breath in office? Yeah, they could, but that would be the end of the republic. And I think even normal Democrats understand that. I think Jamie Raskin is such a radical leftist and so consumed with hate for Trump, for Americans, for Republicans, that he just doesn't get it. But I hope to God that other Democrats aren't thinking the way that he is, because if we get to a point where Congress is just declaring people insurrectionists without there ever having been a criminal case, a criminal conviction, anything like that, and deciding who can and can't take office, if the left feels themselves to be empowered enough to make decisions for the American people about the future of our republic, that will be the end of the republic. For all the left's talk about respecting norms, they are the ones who time after time after time have run roughshod over every constitutional norm that we have, and that's why we've gotten to the point we're in today, where a former president is being prosecuted by the current president, his principal political rival, in cases across America that aren't worth the paper that they're printed on. That's why we see all of the dysfunction and disorder in Washington, D.C., and in so many state capitals as well. Our system is not as healthy as it was even just a decade ago because of the damage that the left has done to it. They want to steal elections. They want unverified absentee ballots flooding the system because they see that as a pathway to win. And the modern left believes in one thing and one thing only, which is advancing the cause of leftism. And everything else is incidental. Everything else is just a stumbling block. The Constitution, the rule of law, the Bill of Rights, they don't care about any of that stuff as soon as it gets in the way of their plan to advance the cause of leftism. And that's what's so dangerous about people like Congressman Raskin.
Why do they hate Trump so much?
Because he proved them wrong. I mean, they view him as like this sort of vulgar celebrity figure who, of course, would never be elected president.
They celebrate vulgar celebrity figures. They invite them to their campaign rallies.
But remember, it was Hillary Clinton, and she was throwing this massive party in this huge ballroom with a glass ceiling. And this was going to be the left's moment of triumph, that Hillary Clinton was going to lock in all of their successes of the Obama years. She was going to appoint Justice Scalia's replacement on the court. They were going to take permanent control of America. But unfortunately, Hillary Clinton was so blinded by her own ego that she never campaigned in Wisconsin. And she never campaigned in Michigan. And Trump spoke to a legion of American voters who didn't usually come out to the polls, but who saw something in him that they hadn't seen in politicians previously, which was just a degree of honesty, a willingness to speak about issues that really mattered to them, and a sense of realism about the serious challenges facing our country from issues like trade and immigration and the border. The left will never forgive Donald Trump because he beat them when they didn't expect to be beaten.
Real quick, we only got like a minute or two here left. Ryan, maybe a question or two from our audience.
Yeah, this is from Brian on the live chat. It's about your campaign, Willie. He says, what does Will offer that Bailey doesn't offer? And did you work for Biden like the ad says?
No, I never worked for Joe Biden.
Are you Joe Biden's communications manager?
No. So, first of all, the idea that Trump would hire as his lawyer in the most important cases of his life some Biden guy is laughable.
The judge was.
I was hired into the U.S. Department of Justice under Trump as a line federal prosecutor in the violent crime unit here in St. Louis. I only ever served under Trump appointees. The Biden folks never replaced my office's leadership. Otherwise, I probably would have been fired. The last time I was at the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. was for the Barrett confirmation in the fall of 2020, when I worked to get Amy Coney Barrett confirmed to the Supreme Court. So what they're saying is that because I was a federal prosecutor while Biden was president, that somehow that makes me a Biden crony. The rough equivalent would be
a little of a stretch.
Well, the rough equivalent would be if I said that Andrew Bailey, who served in the Army while Obama was president, that means that Andrew Bailey is an Obama DOD guy, an Obama Department of Defense guy. It doesn't make any sense. It's a silly political hit. Unfortunately, that's the season that we're living in, though. They can't actually attack my record. So instead, they could just kind of make stuff up. In terms of what I offer that Andrew Bailey doesn't, what we've seen from the Bailey administration over and over and over again is a highly effective press operation, but an absolutely failing legal operation. Yesterday, they lost 9-0 at the U.S. Supreme Court on this case that they brought against New York to try to help out President Trump. They lost what Bailey called the most important First Amendment case in history, Murphy v. Missouri, at the Supreme Court 6-3 just last month. This is an administration that is failing. My record is of winning at the highest levels, of putting together teams of lawyers who know how to bring and win cases. That's what I want to do in the Missouri Attorney General's office. We need an AG who's actually going to protect our rights, who's going to be able to step into the breach on the crucial issues that are facing our state in the future. We need an Attorney General who knows how to win, and right now that office is failing.
Will Scharf, it's been such a pleasure to have you in leading up to this moment. And regardless of what happens today, and people, you need to go out and vote today. Today's the primary. We want you back in as soon as possible. So thank you for being with us today.
Great to be with you guys. Always a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
We'll be watching the results very closely tonight. All right, stick around. Jim Carafano is going to tell us what's going on in the Middle East. When we come back, don't go away.
Jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around, jump up and get down.
The Retirement Advisory Group, you know Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw. These are wonderful people, and they are very committed to making sure that your entrance into retirement is worry-free, that you are comfortable, that you are confident, and that you understand exactly what is going to take place once you get there. They will help you create a personalized, structured income plan that lays it all out for you. That's the knowledge you want, isn't it? If you're interested in setting up your no-cost, doesn't cost you a penny to sit down and talk with the people at the Retirement Advisory Group, and there's no obligation once you sit down for this free retirement review,
You just go in and you learn, and then you can make a decision for yourself. If you're interested in doing this, just give them a call at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494, and tell them Annie Fry sent you. Set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement review today. More at retirementkey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's getjim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Coming out swinging. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance taking aim at the newly minted Democratic VP pick at a rally in Philadelphia.
Senator Vance didn't waste time hitting hard at Vice President Kamala Harris, saying it was her policies that led to war in Europe and an open border. But when asked about Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Senator Vance, while bashing Walz's record, implied he may not have been the popular VP pick.
The Democrats have showed a willingness to pull a little switcheroo on us, so I don't even know if we're actually going to get Tim Walz out of this campaign.
Many believed Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro was the favorite to be the VP selection prior to Walz's announcement. The Democrats start a 5-day tour of swing states today.
Fox's Gernal Scott. President Biden posting on X as Governor Walz has been a strong, principled, and effective leader, and writing, every generation of Americans faces a moment where they are asked to defend American democracy, and he writes, that moment is now. South Carolina preparing for Tropical Storm Debbie, which is forecast to stall along the coast, increasing the chances of catastrophic flooding.
Charleston Mayor William Cosgrove is urging residents to prepare while organizing the city's response.
And we do have high water vehicles that are going to be available. We don't know when the 10 to 12 inches are going to go or come. Could come in 2 or 3 bands. It could come in 10 bands.
Debbie is expected to sit on top of the South Carolina coast for a day or so with little forward motion, meaning it will be able to recharge itself from ocean waters while dropping rain on coastal communities, which are flood prone.
Fox's Eben Brown. A federal judge has refused to dismiss a lawsuit where Jewish students accused Harvard University of letting its campus become what they called a bastion of anti-Semitism. The judge did not rule on the merits of the case, just saying that the premise is plausible. America is listening to Fox News.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We have a cool front on the way, and during the summertime, that's always a good thing. Sunny and hot and humid this afternoon, maybe a stray storm. 98 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, windy from the north. 68 Wednesday. Mostly sunny skies. Nice dropping humidity, 82, with a wonderful stretch of weather Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunshine, low humidity in the mid-80s. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
So let's talk about IGotFloored.com. That's the website, IGotFloored.com. That's Michael's Flooring Outlet. Are you looking for flooring right now? Check out Michael's Flooring Outlet. They have all the brands that you want to shop and all of the different aesthetics that you are looking into. A lot of times when you start something like a floor shopping excursion, you kind of just have an idea of this is the look I'm going for. Maybe you saw a picture on Instagram or something, and you can go to places and try to figure it out yourself. But you can also go to a place like Michael's Flooring Outlet, where they're experts in flooring and flooring only, and they will walk you through all of the different technology that exists in flooring to get you the look that you're trying to achieve, and the different price points that might fit what you are walking into the store hoping to meet. They are wonderful at quality and price, and if you are looking for the best customer sales around,
go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. Like I said, you can find them online at igotfloored.com. You can request an estimate there. You can learn about their products. You can even read reviews. igotfloored.com.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are two things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Are you ready to shape the future? Missouri is crafting its master plan on aging, and we want to hear from you. Visit health.mo.gov/aging to share your thoughts, ideas, and concerns. We can create a vibrant, inclusive future for all generations.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
The Missouri primary election results are here tonight. This is Mark Reardon, and we've got anchored coverage of all the latest results as they come in. All the races up and down the ballot, starting at 7, right when the polls close, live on 97.1 FM Talk tonight.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. It is primary day in Missouri. We hope that you are out and about and getting your vote in. And we're also covering major news that's taking place across the world.
Dana, I won't speak for what the Iranians will or won't do. It's a better question posed for them. But what I will say is we and our ally Israel are preparing for every possibility. And that's the vein in which the announcements that were made by the Pentagon took place. All of those posture adjustments are to prepare for a potential response against Israel from Iran or any other adversary that should try to do Israel harm. And we have been quite clear that we will work to defend Israel against the threats that it faces from outside its borders. And you don't have to take our word for it. Israel faced an extraordinary threat on April 13th. The United States and other partners and allies mustered to help Israel defend against and defeat that threat. And we are preparing to do so again should the need arise.
So that is a national security advisor saying that they are preparing to help Israel should the need arise with Iranian retaliation. Let's get to our friend Jim Carafano, who joins us now, senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, welcome back to the show. Important day to have you here.
Good to be with you, as always.
I'm going to ask you a very broad question. You and I have known each other for a long time. When I, as a mother of 4, my oldest son is 14, look at what's going on in the world, it makes me scared to see what's taking place in the Middle East and looking at America's relationship, strong ally partnership with Israel. What do American citizens need to be thinking right now about what's taking place?
Well, look, I mean, I think there's a couple, when people think, oh my God, this thing's going to spiral out of control, escalating. I mean, I think there's a couple of things to consider. First of all, I think American diplomacy is useless and stupid. I think our policy in the region for the last 3 or 4 years has just been ridiculous. But I will say this: as Iran at least publicly threatens to attack Israel, the presence of really a massive, one of the biggest actual military buildups that we have had in recent years, the Sixth Fleet, you've got air, ships, and that the Iranians do understand. They don't understand politics and sanctions and blah, blah, but when they see an armada at their doorstep, that I think has to matter. The other thing is the Israelis sent a very strong signal that they were not – if the Israelis wanted to escalate and have a war with these guys, the Israelis would not have done what they did, which was a very targeted, very strategic, very surgical strike to send a powerful message. And the third thing is Hezbollah, yeah, they've got a lot of military capability. Yeah, they can do a lot of damage. Israel, however, is a very resilient state. Lebanon is a basket case. The whole country will collapse in 5 minutes, and then Hezbollah will have to live in the seventh circle of hell. So they have to think about that. And, yeah, the Iranians could do a lot of damage too, but they can't attack Israel. It's a country that's countries away. I mean, how are they going to get there? So they can shoot a lot of missiles at the Israelis, but on the 5 seconds after this war starts, the Israelis are going to take out all their command and control infrastructure that allows them to control the country. They're going to take out their nuclear. They're going to take out their electrical grid. They're going to take out their oil and transportation and their infrastructure, and they'll probably go after all their nuclear sites. And if you're Iran, you have to ask, is that a price worth paying?
Yeah.
So I hear a lot of bluster and a lot of, on the one hand, and a lot of stupid, just don't escalate kind of bull on the other. But at the end of the day, I think people have to look at the. Now, look, I'm not saying nothing's going to happen, because clearly, I'm not always right, but mostly it's because, what I say should happen, people, I exclude the irresponsible and stupid things to do, which people do anyway. But so let's say they're not going to do that. But this is the notion that somehow this is just going to jump. We jumped like from the assassination of the Archduke Ferdinand to into the trenches in World War I. There's a lot of steps on that escalation ladder that people have to think about.
We're speaking with Jim Carafano with the Heritage Foundation, an expert in national security and foreign policy. I want to read to you the tweet that came out. I will say Kamala tweeted it, but it's from the vice presidential Twitter account, so somebody tweeted it on her behalf. This is an official reaction. This was from yesterday. Today, the president and I met with our national security team to discuss developments in the Middle East. Our commitment to the security of Israel is unwavering. As we prepare to support the defense of Israel against Iran and Iran-backed terrorist groups, we are also working to de-escalate regional tensions and prevent further conflict. We also discuss the steps we are taking to defend our forces and respond to any attack against our personnel in a manner and place of our choosing. What do you make of that statement from the vice president's Twitter account?
Well, I mean, it's the blah blah you should expect from them. It's really kind of meaningless gobbledygook. I mean, here's what it doesn't say. 99% of the reason why we are where we are is because of the failed policies of the U.S. government in the last 3 years, which have enriched and emboldened and empowered Iran to unleash their surrogates in the most terrible attacks on Israel since the 1973 war. And even in the midst of all that, we continued to send money to UNRWA, which is an extension of a terrorist organization. We put food into Gaza, which wound up in the hands of Hamas, which they sold. We've hamstrung the Israelis and not allowed them to defend ourselves. So when they talk about all the things we're doing for Ukraine, they ought to remind people that they did nothing to deter Russia from attacking to begin with, and their initial response was to tell Zelensky to abandon his country. So it's like Hannibal Lecter saying, I swear to God, from today forward, I'm going to be a vegetarian. You want to believe him? Fine.
You're not going over to his house for dinner, or in so many words. We're speaking with Jim Carafano right now about what's going on in the Middle East. I want to ask you about two stories that, in my mind, I kind of relate together. And I say this as I come from the generation of people who came of age right around September 11th. And we got to watch, as incredibly young adults and very old children all at the same time, our country react to the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Two stories. This is from the New York Post. Frustration and outrage are mounting among a bevy of prominent veterans over a report detailing how U.S. currency is flowing into Taliban-controlled Afghanistan and propping up the regime that American soldiers fought against for decades. Pair this with the plea deal that took the death penalty off the table for the basically mastermind of 9/11. What's happening right now in American politics that is influencing where we have been and sent people to die to defend this country?
Look, so when I get there is an Obama playbook. This is the liberal way of dealing with bad people in the world that was implemented by Barack Obama, followed to a letter by Joe Biden, which you should expect because it's all the same people. And let's be honest, if Harris is president, it's going to be all the same people. It's going to be the same thing. And there's a couple of things there which are absolutely consistent. The strategy for dealing with evil people with them has always been engagement and alignment. That you make nice with your enemies, you show them you're not a threat, you figure out how we can get along, and everything's fine. Now, every time they've ever done that, the enemy has stabbed them in their face, whether it's in Syria with the Red Line or the Russians invading twice or the Chinese or the Afghans or the Taliban, right? But that's their strategy, and when it fails, their impulse is, how do I go back to the strategy? And the second thing is they are the ultimate restrainers and the ultimate risk-averse people, that they don't want to use coercive force at all or threaten coercive force if they get away with it. And so their strategy is always, what is the minimum I can do to make the problem go away? And then if that doesn't work, I'll do a little more. And then if that doesn't work, I'll do a little more. The problem is all our enemies in the world know this playbook. And so they can all absolutely kind of predict the response that we're going to do. The reason why you now have the administration saying we're going to send the Sixth Fleet there is because they're trapped between the playbook, which tells them what to do, and the reality of what is happening on the ground. I mean, the reality is, you can love AOC, you can love the squad, you can think that, Palestinian flags, waving is great and awesome and everything else. But at the end of the day, Israel is an essential strategic partner that the United States cannot abandon. And if Israel goes down, the whole region blows up. And that who knows where that leads. So at the end of the day, in spite of their instincts, in spite of everything they want to do, they have to go back and defend Israel. Just like they wanted to abandon Ukraine. They were ready to walk away from Europe. But at the end of the day, if Europe burns to the ground, they have to go back and do that. Obama wanted to leave the Middle East. He was jumping out of the Middle East. ISIS almost took over the Middle East. And what did Obama do? He had to go back in. And so this is what happens when they are caught between reality and the world, how they want the world to work. At the end of the day, they're trapped there. And if you go back to Harris's statement, this is a quintessential example of that. On the one hand, can't we all just get along? On the other hand, I actually can't have to defend the country's interests. And they know they can't get away with either. They can't actually say, I believe in peace through strength. I want to defend the country, because that's what Trump says, right?
Right.
And they also can't just say, you know what, the Palestinians are right. We should destroy all the Jews out of the country. They can't say that either. So they wind up standing in mush.
Jim Carafano speaking with us right now. I got one last question for you, kind of a broad-based question, and I'm going to this is not about politics, because we've got a party that's in charge. Democrats, they have the Oval Office. It's their administration. It's their vision for America right now. The question is, initially was going to be, do these people who are in charge right now love America? But if I ask you that question, the people listening to us right now, I think, potentially have a very different vision about what America is. And if I see America as something differently than maybe Joe Biden or the people in his administration, their vision for America, then I can't ask you the question, do they love it? Because we're talking about something that is patently different. So my question to you is, what do they think America is that they love so much that they want the power to help control or lead it?
I think the reality is they don't love America. They don't. I think that's really true. On the other hand, they know they are accountable to America because at least half of America still really loves this country. And if they want to get reelected, and if they want to put back in power, in the end, despite everything they do, the woke and they have to defend America's interests, because just like now Harris wants to pretend that she doesn't know anything about the borders are, because she realizes that Americans are not going to elect somebody who says they're not going to secure the border, right? So, and as long as they're accountable, when there is no other option, when they can do nothing else, they will defend America's interests, not because they love the country, but because they can't keep power unless they do that. So either one of two things is going to happen. They're going to find ways to not be accountable. They're going to pack the Supreme Court, make sure they never have to face another election. And then you'll see what they really want for this country. And look, that is not a partisan political statement. That's based on 8 years of Obama, 4 years of Biden, and everything that Kamala Harris represents. So I have a pretty good database by which to go by to say what's different from these people than when Republicans and Democrats used to squabble about each other 20 years ago.
Last question. We've got Harris and now Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, on the ballot. That's one of the options for American voters. California and Minnesota, how do they represent America in your mind, where those states have gone?
Well, I mean, to me, this has been one of the great, when I say about, holding, being held accountable, one of the great things about our system is because it is state-based, because we have an electoral college, because smaller states cannot, and can't just be pushed aside, because people can vote with their feet and move to wherever they want, and so they flood to Texas and Florida and Tennessee and places like that. We have a pressure valve here, and as long as some people in a country can't speak for everybody in the country because they're elites that are untouchable, that is the great safeguard of democracy. I mean, there's so many countries, for example, we have an urban elite, which is, totally leftist, and the entire rest of the country is conservative, but the urban elite elects the thing and they control the country, right? So you can't have that here.
Yeah.
And I think that is, even the balance of power, the Supreme Court, the Congress, and the White, that's not enough, right? Because we receive constant efforts to try to subvert that, get rid of the filibuster, pack the Supreme Court, right? But you still have this nagging problem of, there is no way to tell all of America, get in line and do what you're told. And as long as that's true, it's very difficult for people to say, California or Minnesota speak for the nation, because they don't.
Jim Carafano, always a pleasure. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, we'll do it again. Senior Counselor to the President and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation, our friend Jim Carafano. Love speaking with him. We're going to take a quick break. As you know, today is Missouri Primary Day. We hope that you have voted already. If you haven't, get out and vote. Make sure that you are heard. And if you want to, come on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and leave a comment. Let us know how the precincts are filling up near you. Are you a high number voter? Low number voter? We'll see what turnout is today. I'm expecting, I don't know, maybe relatively speaking, Missouri to have a good primary day today. When we come back, I'm going to talk to Mark Cox, and I'm going to ask him what is the race that he is most excited to see shake out here on Missouri Primary Day. Mark Cox is going to join us when we come back on the Annie Fry Show. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Point Pest Control. Find them online at pointpestcontrol.com. And remember to put that E on the end of point, pointpestcontrol.com. Make sure that your home is pest-free. And Point Pest Control is there to guide you through that whole process. I had them come out to my house last, I think it was November, and we have been pest-free since then. Now, I'm a very proud subscriber of their premium service plan, the best quarterly payment that I make because I'm investing in a pest-free home, and it has been. If you have any sorts of pests, mice, crickets, spiders, ants, if you have discovered maybe termite damage and you need a little inspection done, they do that as well. Make sure that when you reach out to Point Pest Control that you say Annie sent you, because you're going to save an extra 10% on the top of any specials that they have currently going on. So do not forget to drop the Annie name in there to save an extra few bucks. And also ask them about their premier service plan. They come out quarterly with their treatments, and they will keep those pests at bay all year round. I speak as a very, very satisfied paying customer myself. 636-798-0023, 636-798-0023, online at pointpestcontrol.com.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
Outdoor Living Redefined, brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design, your trusted partner in crafting stunning decks, inviting screened rooms, and elegant porch overhangs. Imagine enjoying a crisp morning coffee on your beautifully designed deck, or hosting gatherings in a spacious screened room. Lakeside turns your vision into reality. Our skilled craftsmen use top-notch materials to create spaces that stand up to the elements and stand out in style. Elevate your lifestyle with Lakeside's outdoor living expertise. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314 332-2885.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. I depend on them for eye care, and they have an announcement. They're pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon, and he has the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field. So what do we call them now? The doctors? No, just the best doctors to see for your best vision. In St. Louis, you can reach them at 314-966-5000. They've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any others in the practice. Now, if you need help with dry eye, LASIK surgery, maybe you have glaucoma, macular degeneration. I had an eye disease when I was just 25 years old, so my eyes are very important to me. You get the absolute best care with the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Bersati, Andy Royer, and now Dr. Samuel Berry. 314-966-5000 or visit youridoc.com. They have a great location just off Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Ophthalmology Associates.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If you're not sure who to call for air conditioning services, contact the team at Air Comfort Service. With 55 years of experience and thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust them with the comfort of your home. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
We have a lot of coverage coming up, our election coverage. I'm going to be joined by St. Charles County Executive Republican Steve Ellman. We'll get you through all the numbers.
Weekdays.
Down to right now, this moment. Have you gone and voted yet? It's Missouri Primary Day. Go have your voice be heard. Let's get to a guy who's been talking about this at length for quite some time. Mark Cox, the Mark Cox Morning Show on 97.1 right here. Mark, thanks for coming on and talking to us today. It's good to have you.
Well, thank you, Annie. How are you?
I'm good. Now, as you know, we're all Illinois people in this room right now. Brad, Ryan, and I are watching the results, and we have lobbied for us to get whoever doesn't win your races, just come over to Illinois and take over. We're fine with it. Are you
You can have some of them, but I know you'd be happy with that. You've already told me that.
I'd take it. I told you I'd vote for Adam Kinzinger for governor for Illinois. That's how bad it is.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, Mark, we've all said we'll take your losers.
Yeah, you got to see our losers.
Yeah.
Mark, what do you think about today? What are you expecting to have come out of these results tonight?
Well, one thing I'll be happy about is that at some point this evening, all of these stupid political ads will stop running. I'm honestly, I remember political ads being nasty. It seems worse this year for some reason. I don't know why.
Is it because you're not as mad are there people in these big races that you detest on the Republican side?
There are a couple of people that I really, really don't like, but but you can just tell the truth about their record without claiming that they're responsible for genocide or something. I mean, some of the claims are outrageous against some of these people that I know personally, and I know that what's being said is not true. And, I've tried to let them come on my show and tell their side of the story because, the ads are running on 97.1. They're running on other radio stations. They're running on TV. And, at some point it's a circular firing squad because the party's got to come together and support whoever wins in the next round for November.
There are other radio stations? Just kidding. That's something we haven't talked about really on our show today. I don't know how much you talked about it this morning. I'm incredibly interested in the results that come out of the Republican primary. I am super interested to see if Wesley Bell beats Cori Bush.
I feel like that's going to happen.
You do?
I do. I really do. I saw one poll, and it was probably
a month ago that showed him with a fairly significant lead. I have a hard time believing that gap would have closed enough just based on the horrible ads that were run against him, claiming somehow he's a MAGA person. I mean, anybody who knows Wesley Bell knows that he'll be considerably better than Cori Bush. He'll be probably a little bit worse than Bill Clay was in that same congressional seat.
Mm-hmm.
He's a smart guy. He's a bit of a chameleon. He ran as a defund the police guy, and then before long he was going to police fundraisers. I mean, he used to go, or maybe still goes, to the Big Dog Poker Tournament, which supports the Eureka Police Officers Association. Every year he goes down there, contributes money, buys raffle items. I mean, he's done a really good job endearing himself to the same people that he claimed politically that he was going to go in and work against for criminal justice reform at some point. So he's that kind of I use the word dangerous here, not physically dangerous, but he's a dangerous politician from that standpoint. I mean, he'll be much more effective.
Sounds like what you're saying is he's a good politician.
Well, he's a politician, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty slick, in my opinion. Yeah.
Mark, I don't remember following a primary season where there were so many different big primary races, but B, that there are not really anybody that I would consider to be like the clear front runner in so many of them. Do you find big front runners in let's say AG or in the Missouri governor's race, or is this kind of hey, we're going to have to tune in and see?
No, I think you're right, Ryan. I remember the governor's race in 2016 in the primary was a crowded field. I think there were 4 candidates, and, Eric Greitens got 25, 26% of the vote, which was more than enough to win in a crowded primary. So now you've got the big 3, and everybody expected Mike Kehoe to have the most money. Everybody expected Jay Ashcroft to have the most name recognition, and everybody perceived Bill Eigel to be the long shot. And, in a lot of the polls, it was neck and neck between Kehoe and Ashcroft with Eigel within striking distance. So, momentum at the end is going to matter, I think. I haven't seen a poll with Eigel leading, but, you didn't see that with Greitens either. And it was really that grassroots vote that carried him to a victory in that election. So I'm going to be watching this closely tonight. I think the governor's race is going to be the most interesting of all to see if Kehoe's money was able to overcome all that.
Mark, what do you think about turnout? It's going to be pretty normal, below average, above average, and then based on what you think, what does that mean for the race?
Yeah. My wife had to stand in line for about 20 minutes to vote. Now, she did that closer to noon. When I went to vote around 10:30 this morning, I didn't have to wait very long to vote there in Chesterfield, but I sense that there's a pretty high turnout. I've seen some chatter on social media that the turnout seems to be high. That's good news. It's probably good news for the conservatives, the true conservatives in the race, in my opinion, because I think when you see that kind of turnout, that means they've managed to get people's attention. And unlike the April primary where we had 15% turnout. I mean, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And if let's say we doubled that, 70% of the people aren't voting. What are you doing with your lives? That's what I'd like to know.
Everything else.
I
Pretty
guess.
much. Mark Cox is with us right now for the Mark Cox Morning Show, getting his thoughts on the Missouri primary. I think Mark Reardon's going to join us here in a little bit, so you'll stay tuned for that. He's going to set up the rest of the day for us. Mark, what time did the Tim Walz VP announcement come down? Did that hit before you were off the air?
Yeah, it was 7:45 maybe this morning. I think it was before 8 o'clock, if I remember correctly.
I was in my room by myself with my dog, and I saw the news alert come through Fox News. I was reading, so I hit it right away, and I vocalized. I was like, "What?" That shocked me. How did you feel about it?
I had a similar reaction. I thought that the Shapiro choice would have been a better one for her. I got when this first happened, I suspected her gut instinct would be to pick somebody like Cory Booker or Elizabeth Warren. I'm sure the party warned her away from that, but I'm not sure politically the Tim Walz choice is any better. He's a hard left progressive. She doesn't need to win Minnesota. So there's so many. And of course, Trump doesn't need to win Ohio, and he picked J.D. Vance. But you would have thought she would really try to pick somebody a little more moderate so they could go on the campaign trail and kind of counterbalance each other. And she did not accomplish that at all.
I am on our live stream right now sharing the Truth Social post from Donald J. Trump this morning when he heard that was going to be the case. It looks like it was posted at 9:52, and it just is all caps, "Thank you!" ! That's all he had to say about the Walz pick, apparently.
I saw that.
What do you think about how this? Now we have the map here. We know who's going to be on which ticket. You feel better about Trump's chances now?
Well, I mean, I've never thought that he was going to run away with it. When you see these national polls that show her with a lead now, I mean, the big blue cities might provide her with a victory in total votes, but I still don't see her making up the ground she needs to make in these swing states. And everything out of that campaign's been so controlled so far, that's got to break at some point. They've got to put her in front of cameras where journalists can ask questions and we can see the real Kamala, which we've seen in the past with the word salad. So now I think Trump has still got a better than even chance of winning this race. Mm-hmm. They just, I think maybe you and I talked about this. I know I've talked about it with Brad and Ryan in the office before. They just have to go after her policies and her past statements and not attack her personally, because that I know enough people who are middle of the road or maybe a little left of center who don't like her very much, but they also don't like Trump. And if he starts riding her too bad, I'm afraid that some of them either just won't vote or they might vote for her as a protest.
And Mark, all of those things, they go without saying. You don't have to belabor the point for people to know that there are certain particular parts. I mean, Donald Trump has things about him that annoy me on a regular basis, but his policies are the right policies for my family and for my children. And I'm not so emotionally sensitive that, like, oh, I got my feelings hurt, and because I'm a suburban woman, I just vote on my emotions. I'm smarter than that. And we just don't need to paint the picture for people that Kamala Harris, every time she takes a microphone or a camera, which is only when it's scripted, we don't have to say those things. She says them very loudly and clearly for herself.
And we've got the tape, right? There's an interesting bite out there this morning. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, from Kayleigh McEnany, where she talks about Tim Walz. And, I don't know much about the guy, except I remember him briefly during the BLM protests up in Minneapolis. And she said he's a bit of a chameleon, her words. I think that's the word she used. And he defeated a Republican to take the House seat that he held for 6 years. And that he's very good at playing the moderate. You just have to go back and look at his policies. So, nobody should look at it as a cakewalk. But I think that I just don't see the strength of that pick for her at all.
I don't either. I'm happy about it. Mark, where are you going to be tonight? What are you going to be doing to take in the results of the Missouri primary?
Well, I committed to something a while back, and now I realize I'm going to be up till probably 10:30 or 11 tonight.
Oh, tomorrow is going to be a hot show in the morning. Tune in for that one.
I'm going to be on with Mark Reardon a few times during the broadcast this evening, but I had agreed to be on a panel at Channel 4 News, and that I didn't think it was happening, and then it came together again. So that's happening tonight. I'll be on there with Jay Nixon and Antonio French and Gene Evans at various points throughout the night when they cut in with updates on the election. And I think I'll be on their streaming site too. So,
all right. Well, you will represent 97.1 very well wherever you go, as you always do, Mark.
Thank you, Annie. I appreciate that.
All right. I'm hoping for a good one for Missouri tonight. Thanks for being with us, and we will be sure to tune in tomorrow morning.
Say a prayer, and we'll send you all the leftovers over to Illinois.
And we'll take them. Absolutely. Whatever you got left over.
Yeah. I'll eat like 3-week-old casserole. We're in Illinois, Mark.
The bar is so low. All right, Mark.
you guys.
We'll talk
Thanks.
to you again soon. Thanks for the time today. People think we're joking, but we are not
No,
joking.
we're not.
No.
We'll take whoever loses, like even almost by a landslide.
I'm going to quote Jay Ashcroft in the Missouri governor's debate. Everybody but the KKK guy.
That's exactly why I said almost everybody. There are a couple people that you go,
When there's going to be a nondescript KKK guy roaming around.
Yeah.
You can keep him.
Yeah.
We'll take the rest.
Anybody who's a hard racist on either side of the aisle, we're just going to pass.
Don't need them.
But otherwise, we'll take your conservative principles no matter who you are.
I might actually even take Democrat leftovers from Missouri.
Moderate? Like a moderate Democrat?
I have to look into them, but have you seen ours? It's bad.
Yeah.
Do you think J.B. Pritzker was ever actually being considered for VP? I do not.
No, I don't either. I think that he loves the idea that he was,
Well,
though.
I don't think he. No, I think these people say, you're going to tell people that I'm being considered for VP. I'll write you a check.
Oh, politics.
Nothing is accidental.
Yeah.
It's all taken care of, especially in the Democrats. They don't even actually elect their nominees. They just pick them.
They haven't for quite some while.
Let's take a quick break. Mark Reardon's going to be in studio. Is that right? Is Mark Reardon coming in? Mark Reardon's going to lay out what he thinks is going to happen tonight, and we'll get some.
Andrea's yesterday doing a live endorsement for them, as I do, and we just got to talking in the studio about the different things you can use Andrea's on, and one of the things I mentioned that I don't think Brad has ever tried, because he uses Andrea's all the time too, is mushrooms. Portobello mushrooms on the grill. Oh my gosh, my dad's been making those lately. They are so good. If you've never tried Andrea's sauce, you really need to get a bottle because of the different variety of things you can use it on. They always say you can use it in stews too. I've never really tried that, but I really need to, because we're going to be, I know it's still August, but it feels like fall's right around the corner for some reason, and I'm already thinking about chilies and stews. Get a bottle of Andrea's sauce to finish out your grilling season for sure, and then while you're at it at the grocery store, when you see it on an end cap, grab that, but get their barbecue sauce and get their salad dressing. They're all very, very excellent sauces. I've never really had a better barbecue sauce, and their steak sauce is world renowned. I kid you not. People from all over the world, chefs from all over the world, order Andrea's sauce from right here in St. Louis. So if you've never tried it, you really need to. Get a bottle of Andrea's at Schnucks or Dierberg's or at Andreas.com.
You care about every detail, and so does Purina. Every ingredient in their pet food comes from trusted sources, and every ingredient has a purpose. Whether that purpose is to provide just the right nutrients your pet needs or a flavor they will love, Purina has over 250 recipes made without artificial flavors or preservatives for you to choose from. You're sure to find something both you and your pet will love. Learn more at Purina.com/Purina Cares.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
I have a Save the Date for Stray Paws Rescues annual party. Has food trucks, drinks, raffles, all the good stuff, and puppies doggies looking for their forever home. If you could, or if you want to, it's in St. Peter's, just go to my website. That is bartinman.com. So that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. It's July 27th, 12 to 5 p.m. out in St. Peter's. It's a good time. I'll be there. I just don't know when I'm going to be there, but you get to meet all the volunteers. But if you're looking to do something and you would like just to volunteer, again, go to the website. Can never have enough volunteers. Or if you would like to, if you have a couple dollars and you would like to help a dog out, help a dog out. Help me out. No, not for me. Help a dog out. Again, that is July 27th, Saturday. It's on a Saturday, 12 to 5. Thanks for your help in advance, and God bless.
St. Louis City SC is advancing onto the knockout stage of Leagues Cup 2024. Get ready to cheer on City SC as they take on the Portland Timbers this Friday, August 9th at City Park. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com starting at just $25. Leagues Cup. 3 countries, 2 leagues, 1 champion.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
Who's weird? Republicans, Democrats, both, or neither? It's the YouTube live chat poll of the day. Let us know what you think. Mark Reardon has just entered the studio, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to want to stick around for his interview next. 150. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Focus Marines Foundation is here to help veterans transition from service to civilian life, and we're here to support them. This is Mark Cox inviting you to get involved in this month's Conservatives Care effort by visiting 971talk.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Appreciate you being with us this afternoon. We've got Mark Reardon in studio, a rare Mark Reardon sighting before 2 p.m. Hi.
And I wasn't sure I was going to make it here by this time, but I made it.
Did you break some laws?
I might have. Well, it's going to be a late night. I'm going to be here. I'm not used to working more than 3 hours a day, so I was trying to
really asking a lot of you today.
Yeah, I know. So, 6 or 7 hours total is a little overwhelming. But no, I was kind of pushing it just because I know I'm going to be here a little bit later tonight.
Did you come in the helicopter?
Yeah, maybe. Did you hear it, Lane?
I did. I didn't know that was you.
Yeah, it was.
Thought it was a medical emergency.
Stop it. Tell us about tonight. It might be. Tell us about tonight on 97.1. What do you got for us?
Well, we're going to, I think, first of all, I have to give credit where credit is due. And Fred Bottomer, the Hall of Famer, puts a lot of this together, and I just blab, right? So I have to give credit to Fred because he's put a lot of the show together. Does he just work 3 hours a
day?
No, he works like 20 hours a day.
All
it's
of the
ridiculous.
other ones.
Yes, he does amazing work, and I couldn't do what I do without him. But we have I'll just be honest with you. Primary election night is a little different than the general election. We were a little stuck. We needed full coverage tonight. John Lamping, who is always with me on election night, he'll be with me on the general election. He's out of the country right now. So we got Steve Ellman, which is a great choice, the St. Charles County Republican executive, and he's going to join us tonight with the coverage. And Steve knows all the players, and he's pretty ingrained into Republican politics. But he'll join. We'll have Scott Fawn from the Missouri Times. Jane Duker's going to weigh in tonight. Hopefully Mark and maybe you. David Barklage, who's a GOP consultant and a regular on the roundtable. So we got full coverage. Jeff Smith, Greg Keller, you name it. And then we'll get candidates on if the races are called.
Yeah, that's a full slate. How long does that last?
We're going to go from about 7 to 10. The thing that's difficult is you don't know when some of these vote totals are going to come in, especially statewide. Will they come in after 10 o'clock? I don't know. You would think that this would be pretty streamlined and not too complicated because let's face it, and I voted today, nobody's voting. It's just sad.
Low turnout?
I saw no voters at my polling place, Rockwood Summit High School.
Did they give you a number?
They didn't give me a number. I should have asked for that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do ask for that. But they were all, it was funny because I walked in, all the poll workers were just talking amongst themselves, having a good old time. I'm like, okay, I'll just write down a few things here on my ballot and see where that takes me.
But that's indicative of how much more important it is to vote in a primary
I couldn't agree with you more, Ryan. And it's frustrating to me. It's disappointing that more people don't take the time. I don't know if they're intimidated by the process, if they don't feel like they know the candidates. But this is, especially in a red state like this, these are the elections that will decide essentially the winners. And, that becomes important for Democrats, too, because I think a lot of eyes nationally are on the Cori Bush, Wesley Bell race. All of the polling indicates that she might get smoked here.
Oh, my gosh.
Whoa, really?
Please.
Well, but here's what I'd say about that.
Wait, what do you mean smoked?
Well, 8 or 9 points. That's pretty big.
That would be big.
Yeah. But,
I'm going to live in this moment.
I didn't, and I'll tell you that 4 years ago, I guess it was, whenever the hell it was, maybe it was at 6, good God, when Lacey Clay was upset, that a lot of us didn't see that coming. People that were paying closer attention to North County saw it coming. So I don't want to underestimate Congresswoman Bush to get the vote out here today, and maybe it'll be a little closer. But there's a lot of people that aren't too crazy about her right now. So I think Wesley Bell wins.
Who does Cori Bush appeal to in St. Louis?
African Americans who think that she's helping them. I don't know.
I mean,
honestly,
if I'm comparing, and I'm not expert level in any way, shape, or form on Wesley Bell and Cori Bush. I know more about Cori Bush because of the stupidest things that she manages to get on the news for when she's speaking. But like, if I have the choice between Wesley Bell and Cori Bush, I mean, how has St. Louis been better since Cori Bush has been in office?
That's an irrelevant question because it hasn't been. All right, so that's a moot question. But her supporters come from, big, deep-rooted progressives. I'll give you an example. The president of our Board of Aldermen, who's a big embarrassment, Dr. Megan Elia Green, she's out putting yard signs up for her. And I've joked before about doing the same thing for Cori Bush because, let's face it, Annie, for people like you and I, she's the gift that keeps on giving. But it's not good for the region. And Congressman Jason Smith told me something that I didn't even realize last week. He said the entire Missouri delegation gets together once a month for a lunch or breakfast. Even Emmanuel Cleaver shows up. He's in charge of the Black Caucus, right? Cori Bush doesn't show up to those at all.
That's why I think it's a relevant question, because if she hasn't done anything for it, she doesn't show up. I feel like Wesley Bell has done those things on a more local level, that if you're a voting person, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why anyone would elect Cori Bush to begin with, but
he's no different. 98% of the votes will be no different than Cori Bush. Okay, so we should make that clear. He probably won't embarrass the region like Cori Bush has. Let's face it, she's been embarrassing for Missouri and St. Louis nationally. People know that she's from here. So you might get a slight upgrade there, but I wouldn't anticipate too much from Wesley Bell, that's for sure.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. And all of the coverage will be right here, led by Mark Reardon and a huge crew of people who are going to be weighing in tonight. Thank you for heading this up. I'm excited to check out the results. I think I'm going to touch base with you guys maybe later in the 9 o'clock hour, maybe help you wrap up the show.
That'd be awesome. No, well, we probably, again, it becomes a little difficult just because of the gaps. You don't know when the numbers are going to come in.
Well, I'm going to be tuning in to 97.1 tonight to get my results. I'm looking forward to it. Mark,
Thank you.
At 3 o'clock and pretty much for the rest of the day, we'll be back for the rest of our 2 o'clock hour in just a minute.
If you have an IRS problem, getting accurate legal advice could help get this all behind you right now. Hi, I'm local attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. The IRS made new changes that make it easier to settle your IRS debt for a reduced amount. Not all our clients qualify, but under the IRS's new Fresh Start program, you may be able to resolve your IRS problems quickly and for less money. But don't wait. An IRS problem is a legal problem. You need someone who understands both the IRS and the law. Don't trust your tax problems to some TV personality. The Drury Law Firm has handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years, and your first visit is completely free and confidential. And I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So if you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You're probably not thinking about Christmas shopping, but you should be. It's going to be here before you know it. And at the Diamond Shop, they have a 6 months, same as cash option for you. So go check out. Let's pair it together, back to school and Christmas shopping at the same time. 50% off diamond bracelets right now through August 10th. This doesn't last all month. You need to get in contact with the Diamond Shop and have that conversation. I am telling you, you will not miss on a diamond bracelet gift. I'm telling you, it's gold every time. Well, it's diamonds. If you are also wanting to save on in-stock jewelry, 30% off all in-stock jewelry throughout the entire month. And you can also enjoy, coming up at the end of the month, they're going to have a clearance sale. So you can keep that in mind as well. The Diamond Shop has the best people in the business. They are kind. They are attentive. They are respectful. Whether this is your first piece of jewelry, fine jewelry you've ever purchased, or you are an expert yourself, you will get the ultimate respect. They will earn your business back the next time you go. All the details online at thediamondshop.net.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original overhead door. The most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. An arrest in an assassination plot. I'm Lisa Lacera. A Pakistani man with purported ties to Iran has been charged by the Justice Department in a plot to carry out political assassinations in the U.S., including against former President Trump. Asif Merchant has been charged with murder for hire. The Justice Department says Merchant traveled to New York City to hire a hitman to carry out the plot. The would-be hitmen were undercover FBI agents. More of the same. That's the accusation from Ohio Senator and Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance after it was announced Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is Vice President Kamala Harris's choice for running mate.
Kamala Harris is running as a San Francisco liberal. She is governed as a San Francisco liberal, and she's chosen a running mate who will be a San Francisco-style liberal.
Vance speaking at a rally in Philadelphia.
Tim Walz's record is a joke. He's been one of the most far-left radicals in the entire United States government at any level. But I think that what Tim Walz's selection says is that Kamala Harris has bent the knee to the far left of her party, which is what she always does.
That said, he did call Walz and congratulate him and says he will debate him once he becomes the official nominee. Sirens sounding in northern Israel as Hezbollah fires drones, injuring several people.
Later in the day, the leader of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, making an address to the world, issuing new threats against Israel. And it comes as the country is bracing for what is expected to be a massive attack by Iran and its proxies, including Hezbollah and the Houthis in Yemen. The Israelis are on high alert at this hour. They worry that this response to the killing of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran just last week will be widespread.
Fox's Trey Inks in northern Israel. This as Hamas says it's chosen the mastermind of the October 7th attacks as its new leader. America's listening to Fox News.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We have a cool front on the way, and during the summertime, that's always a good thing. Sunny and hot and humid this afternoon, maybe a stray storm. 98 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, windy from the north. 68 Wednesday. Mostly sunny skies. Nice drop in humidity, 82, with a wonderful stretch of weather Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunshine, low humidity in the mid-80s. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I want to talk to you about listing or selling in the state of Illinois and making sure that you understand the value of having experience behind that listing. You want to have somebody or a team of people who understands the process and who can navigate the market to get you the best results. That's what real estate is about. You want the expert. And you get that with Jen Teske and the team at RE/MAX Alliance. Call them directly at 618-541-1010. That's 618-541-1010. Online, you can find them at jenteskehomes.com. Teske, jenteskehomes.com. They have decades of experience of making sure that you are in the right position, that you have, if you're listing your home with them, that you are showcasing your home in a way that's going to bring in those multiple offers and get you that top dollar that you are seeking out on that transaction. Make sure that you go with experts, and Jen Teske and the team at RE/MAX Alliance, they are the best. 618-541-1010, jenteskehomes.com.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing, and when it comes to the quality of your water, it is so important, not just for the taste, but for when you wash your clothes or even your hair or your skin, and bad water can affect all of your appliances. Call them today at 314-500-LEAK. That's Beast Plumbing.
On August 6th, vote Conservative Republican Mike Archer for County Council. Mike Archer supports law enforcement and has earned the endorsement of the St. Louis County Police Officers Association. Mike Archer, a small business owner, will cut red tape and support local businesses so they can thrive. He believes in fiscal responsibility and lower taxes. Mike stands for our Second Amendment rights, defending our families and our homes. It's time for change in St. Louis County. On August 6th, vote Conservative Republican Mike Archer for County Council.
I'm Mike Archer, and I approve this message paid for by Archer for County Council, James Murphy, Treasurer.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors, specifically my friend Tim Nesbitt, who is the owner. He is from the customer service business, 20 years in the restaurant business, so the answer is yes. What's the question? Anything you need. Hospitality, personal service, we're upscale, we're a James Hardy company, roofing and siding and gutters, and great value. Tim just texted me and he beat the next closest bid by $15,000 just this week. You can call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
When you think of equity and independence for people with disabilities through services, partnerships, education, and advocacy, you think of Paraquad. Join us Friday, September 6th for the Shine the Light Gala at Ritz-Carlton, St. Louis. For more info, go to paraquad.org or call 314-289-4200.
Save money on your next oil change with O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get a $10 gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $35.95. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Missouri primary election results are here tonight. This is Mark Reardon, and we've got anchored coverage of all the latest results as they come in. All the races up and down the ballot, starting at 7, right when the polls close, live on 97.1 FM Talk tonight.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We appreciate you being with us this afternoon. J.D. Vance he did multiple press conferences within the span of an hour. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is the nominee. She was virtually nominated yesterday by the DNC. She's in. Everything that happens at the convention is now ceremonial. And she has picked Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota to be her vice president. And I couldn't be happier for that, unless, of course, they win. It would be a disaster. How do you feel about having a California-Minnesota ticket? What a disaster. I've heard the talking point. You're going to hear this a lot. Minnesota is in the top 5 places to live in the country. Okay. I don't think that if you ask 100 people, if you could live anywhere, where do you want to live? I do not think that people are picking Minnesota in the top 5. People might pick California. If you just asked people where they might want to go, people might pick California, especially if they're unaware of the politics behind it. Minnesota has a lot of very interesting aspects to it that are not going to appeal to the voter across the country. It'll be on the Republican ticket to make the case that the California-Minnesota way is not the way for all of America. So I want to play some of this sound here that we have from J.D. Vance, and he's reacting to Kamala Harris's pick of Governor Walz as her VP on the ticket.
Construction of the border wall, and she stopped the Remain in Mexico policy that kept a lot of Americans safe. Now, today we're going to talk to a lot of Americans who have suffered and had children and loved ones who have died because of these border policies. It has led to record fentanyl overdoses in our country. It's led to a lot of migrant crime from people who shouldn't even be here. And it's, of course, driven up the price of housing for a lot of Americans who shouldn't have to compete with 20 million illegal aliens for scarce homes. Obviously, the big news of the day is that Tim Walz has been nominated as the VP, or is now the presumptive nominee, I should say, for Kamala Harris. My view on it is it just highlights how radical Kamala Harris is. This is a person who listened to the Hamas wing of her own party and selecting a nominee. This is a guy who's proposed shipping more manufacturing jobs to China, who wants to make the American people more reliant on garbage energy instead of good American energy, and has proposed defunding the police just as Kamala Harris does. I think it's interesting, actually. They make an interesting tag team because, of course, Tim Walz allowed rioters to burn down Minneapolis in the summer of 2020, and then the few who got caught, Kamala Harris helped bail them out of jail. So it is more instructive for what it says about Kamala Harris, that she doesn't care about the border, she doesn't care about crime, she doesn't care about American energy, and most importantly, she doesn't care about the Americans who have been made to suffer under those policies. I'll take a couple questions, then we're going to hit the road and go to this press conference. Yeah.
Hugely showed that with its anti-Semitism, the reason why you believe Kamala Harris didn't choose Josh Shapiro instead of that.
Well, it's not what I believe. It's what the Democratic leadership has said. Many people said repeatedly that the reason Kamala Harris was going away from the Josh Shapiro selection is because they were worried about anti-Semitism. They were worried about certain voters. They were worried about some of the leaders and the grassroots activists in their party wouldn't take a Jewish nominee. I think it's despicable. I think it's disgusting. But that is right out of the words of many members of the Democratic leadership. And so now we have Tim Walz. But again, most importantly, we have Kamala Harris. Her policies have been a disaster, and they will remain so if the American people give her a promotion.
Senator,
Yeah.
have you or Governor Walz reached out to one another? I know when you're going to be. You guys have reached out.
I actually, on the way to the flight in Cincinnati, I guess in northern Kentucky, I actually called Tim Walz. I left a voicemail. I didn't get him, but I just said, look, congratulations. Look forward to a robust conversation and enjoy the ride. And maybe he'll call me back. Maybe he won't. Yeah.
Senator, excuse me. Yeah. The Governor and Vice President Harris are expected to take a battleground state tour in the next couple of days.
Sure.
Former President Trump won't be making a public campaign appearance until Friday in Montana. Is that a missed opportunity?
No, look, I think I'm making a number of public appearances over the next few days just to drive home the fact that Kamala Harris's policy have been such a failure for normal Americans. I know the president's very busy over the next few days. One of the things you've got to do is, of course, get out there and speak to people and speak to reporters. A final thing that you have to do, of course, is raise the resources, and I know the president's very busy doing exactly that. So he and I are taking a divide and conquer strategy to this campaign. Sometimes we obviously do events together, but I think we're going to use the fact that we have two people who can both get out there and prosecute a message. We're going to hit the road, but I really want to make just one final observation. I know most of you. I like all of you as people, or at least I like the ones of you that I know. I think that you guys have got to do a better job at actually forcing Kamala Harris to answer questions. This is a person who's been the presumptive Democrat nominee for 16 days. She hasn't taken a single real question from a reporter. The American people deserve to get to know the people who want to lead them, and I think it's shameful for Kamala Harris, but increasingly for the media, that she's taking a basement strategy of running from reporters instead of getting in front of them, answering tough questions about her record, and letting the American people know who she is. President Trump and I take hostile questions. We take non-hostile questions. We get out there and talk to people because we respect the American people enough to want to persuade them and not to try to run from them. So I think you guys got to do a better job. That's my humble opinion. Take it easy, guys. Thank you.
I like JD Vance more today than I've ever liked him before.
I do too, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's hitting Kamala Harris right where it hurts. She has got to do more interviews, and he knows it, and that's why he's challenging her to do it and challenging the media to do it too.
Man, it's
go ahead.
I was gonna say it's really interesting to watch him and the reaction of people to JD Vance as the VP candidate versus the left's reaction to JD Vance versus the right's reaction to Tim Walz. And the left is like, Trump needs to drop him. He's not good for the campaign, blah, 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 blah. Get him out of there. And then the right, what I'm seeing is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she picked this guy. Great pick, Kamala. They're cheering it on. So it's always interesting to me to watch that juxtaposition of how people react to the other person's candidate. And I think that J.D. Vance is a great VP candidate.
Are you ready to do a postponed Wiggins America?
I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready when Brad is.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! Does that mean Brad's ready or?
No, it just means he's in charge.
Okay. So he played the sounder.
Just do the thing, Ryan.
I'll assume that means he's ready.
Do the thing.
All right. Well, I've got a bunch of kind of random social trends, situations, and things like that I want to run by and see what you think about them. First one is that...
Whoa.
Well, go ahead. What?
Jimmy poses a great question. Why don't you read the comment from our friend Jimmy on YouTube? Just read that. Just read it out loud.
Okay. Jimmy says, greetings, 97.1 family. Thanks for all that you do. Where's your suit, Ryan? God bless.
Where's your suit?
Okay, I can't say I did not remember it this morning. I did.
You made a choice?
I made a choice to
Why?
not. Hey, look.
It's Missouri primary day.
I know, but
people would have taken you seriously today.
I didn't want
Instead,
to wear.
you wore that.
I didn't want to wear a captain's jacket because that's what I was going to do. I was going to wear a boat captain jacket, and I thought. I have too much respect for you, Annie.
Shut it.
Because it would have hijacked the show.
No.
Yeah, it would have.
You steal the show?
I would have.
So you wore that?
So I wore this to try to put the spotlight back on you, as you can see.
You can go to whiskeyDickerson.com and buy that shirt.
It's the Annie Fry Show t-shirt.
It's a good-looking shirt.
This was my selfless act of the day.
Do you know that you could wear that shirt with a suit or with a sport coat and it would look even better?
I did not.
You could.
Now I know.
Now you will. Wear the suit
see
tomorrow.
What happens tomorrow.
Wear the suit tomorrow.
If I sweat this shirt out tonight, I am not going to wear it tomorrow.
Ew.
Now I have one of the old ones that is orange.
Say, I could get you a new shirt.
It is skin tight on me, and I don't wear it very much. I wear it as an undershirt sometimes. But this one actually is very, very comfortable. So
you
I
can
highly
get the
recommend
Annie Fry Show T-shirt.
Yes, you can.
Through Whiskey Dickerson. But Jimmy's right. You should have worn a suit. And I didn't even remember that until just now.
And I did. And I do apologize. But
disrespectful to
again,
the audience that you made a commitment to.
Well, I wanted to respect you.
This is like
I don't care about the audience.
This is like the stupid political ad. We had Will Scharf on earlier, and we're like, did you work for Biden? And he just goes, no.
That almost should be something that is common across all media, is play the ad, have the candidate go, this is what really happens. Like, just have the rebuttal right there after the ad. That would be great.
You just got to pay to run it. And
yeah.
If you can't afford to run the ads to respond to ridiculous attacks, then the attacks that are ridiculous might be successful.
If I were running, I would sell out to corporations to get their money.
At least you're honest. Back to Wiggins America.
Okay.
A suitless Wiggins
Yeah,
America.
no suit in this one. It's just casual. We're just casually talking
Thanks
about
for
these
the reminder,
things.
Jimmy.
These are social trends and situations that I want to know what your opinion is. This is out of Los Angeles, California, of all places. They are progressive in many ways. Are they being progressive in the right way in this one? The Board of Education in Los Angeles 5-2 decision was to ban cell phones by January of 2025 in classrooms in Los Angeles. There's a lot of back and forth about this. Some people saying, but it's individual freedom. You're stomping on individual freedom. But a lot of students coming around to it and saying that they're actually glad because they won't have to worry so much about social media, which drives so much of social activity. One person saying, I pulled a quote here that I thought was pretty good. It says, but going to school without a phone, this girl noticed she acted differently than other students. So she had already tried to start doing this on her own. She was able to focus better and longer on assignments and reading. She noticed some classmates would hide their phones behind books during class, pretending to read while actually texting and scrolling. But with the encouragement of her mom, she began learning more about teens and technology and realizing that it was better for her own mental health. What do you think about this?
Parents, you got to be paying attention. I don't need the government to come in and show me how to parent my kids, but I do think that the government does have some business in policing how social media, specifically platforms, advertise and commoditize children. The addictive nature of social media that makes money off the eyes and clicks of kids is problematic to me. Phones are a method of contact, and this is the line that I draw with my kids. And I know that we've had issues with phones and my kids before. We will have more issues. That's like anything. It's like saying, this has not been a problem with my children, but that's like saying you can't drink alcohol until you're 21. And me saying to my kids, you cannot drink alcohol before you're 21. Don't do it. Are there going to be other people around you who are going to do it? Yes. That has nothing to do with whether or not I'm okay with you doing it or the law is okay with you doing it. If the law says you shouldn't drink alcohol before you're 21, is it going to kill you if you drink it at 20? Is there a way that you can responsibly consume alcohol in a specific situation and manage it when you're 20? The law says no. So that's a full stop, period. But at the same time, there are going to be people who are going to advocate for, you can be responsible and so, take their keys. That ain't me. But there are going to be people out there who suggest that is something that you can do. There are going to be like school-based restrictions on it. Apparently, there are going to be state law-based regulations on when kids can access it. It's up to the parents to determine what their kids are capable of consuming. But the key here is that phones, this is the line I have for my kids, phones are for communication, and that's it. And people will say, oh, but mom, all my friends, people will say, my kids say, my friends talk on Snapchat. And I'm like, well, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is no. And there's no discussion after that. I have modified my position, specifically with my 14-year-old son, starting high school on Thursday. I have modified my position with him that he should be able to contact his friends and communicate with them. And the phone is the way to do that. I communicated with my friends via phone. We didn't text or anything because that didn't exist. But we talked on the phone all the time. That's how they communicate. He can communicate that way. But there is no social media. And that's because I don't think that their brains are capable of handling the constant presence. It's always there, 24/7. You are always anticipating what you're missing, FOMO, the entire time. And I don't think it's healthy. And I think my kids are better adjusted than other kids that I've seen who cannot be in a social setting, sit still, interact with other adults because the phone is there. I see adults who can't do it either. But kids need to develop outside of the context of a screen. And as parents, you're the ones who are supposed to levy that. I feel like the government needs to step in more, regulating the social media platforms when it comes to kids specifically, but I don't need government coming in and parenting for me.
Regardless of whether it's social media, more screens for kids equals lower attention span. So it is my belief that every school should adopt this policy. No phones in schools. And I know that the argument is...
No phone in the school or in the classroom?
In the classroom.
Different.
No phone in the classroom.
In your backpack, in your locker.
Because people always say, well, what if there's an emergency? I don't know. Because when I was in school, I didn't have the capability of calling somebody an emergency from my own cell. I could call from the school. That's always there. Mm-hmm. So that's a kind of a silly argument to me. But the fact that kids are always on phones and on screens when they're not in school means that school should be a place where you put it aside for a second so you learn to have that attention span.
My son has to have an iPad for high school. Like, it has to be an iPad. We've never owned an iPad in our house. And we probably should have known this earlier, but we didn't because we're irresponsible. It's not on anybody else. But he starts school on Thursday, and yesterday we're like, crap, he needs an iPad. I think I thought that maybe the school provided them and we just had to pay the school for the usage of them. But no, we got to buy one. And I am not really comfortable with him having acts like my husband and I are going to have to discuss the usage of the iPad in the home. I think that we're maybe behind the eight ball a little bit as being raised in a non-tech environment. Technology did not exist when we were in high school and even mostly through college. Like you remember when you weren't allowed to use internet sources?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. In college, I couldn't at all.
Do they know where the library is anymore?
Yeah, I know.
I feel I have to constantly check myself because it's like, when I was your age, it's completely different than what they're dealing with right now. They need to know how to use the technology that is available to them. So I'm gonna have to bend on the iPad thing. Basically, going back to the phone thing for my kids, my oldest two have access to individual phones, but when they come home, the phone goes on the shelf and they don't get to use them. There's no sitting around and being on the phone in the house. You do something else.
Yeah, that's the way we are too. I can't expect everybody to be that way, but I do think school is a good place to set that aside.
You got some more stories?
I do.
Let's do them in the next
Sure.
segment.
Okay,
we
we'll
take
stop.
a break?
Yep.
All right. Well, an extended Wiggins America here since we had Will Scharf in studio with us for the 12 o'clock hour. You could go watch that replay on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, but I encourage you to check out the podcast where you can hear the entire conversation we had with Will Scharf. Jim Carafano joined us at 1 o'clock as well. You can check out his interview on the Annie Fry Show podcast. If you want to hear all of these stories, but you're not a podcast person, you're not interested in doing all of that stuff, if you go to AnnieFryShow.com, F-R-E-Y, AnnieFryShow.com, there's a playlist of everything right there, and you can listen to whatever you want. You can also see the YouTube live stream at AnnieFryShow.com as well. We'll be right back with more Wiggins America in a minute.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
I would always encourage you to call Air Comfort Service first if you have an HVAC system concern. Let them know, 314-513-0091, what you're dealing with, and get the process towards fixing, taken care of right away. But if you've called someone else and you kind of got shock over what you've been quoted, you can reach out to Air Comfort Service as well, 314-513-0091, for a free second opinion on heat exchangers or compressor repairs for commercial businesses. If you are a business owner, building manager, operations manager, or office manager, and you've been recently told that your HVAC system needs a repair, do not forget to reach out to Air Comfort Service when you're trying to figure out what the issue is. 314-513-0091. Air Comfort Service has been awarded the BBB Torch Award in 2020, a 9-time recipient of Carrier's President's Award, and they've been named a top workplace by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch for the second year in a row. They are there to serve you, to guide you. I am a customer myself multiple times over of Air Comfort Service, and I appreciate their commitment to quality care and great service and great products. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
St. Louis City SC is advancing onto the knockout stage of Leagues Cup 2024. Get ready to cheer on City SC as they take on the Portland Timbers this Friday, August 9th at City Park. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com starting at just $25. Leagues Cup, 3 countries, 2 leagues, 1 champion.
August is a great month to save money with Chesterfield Fence and Deck in your next beautiful outdoor project. Mark Cox here. For this month, you can get 20% off your completed outdoor project for my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck, and what great work they do. Lots of craftsmanship and pride because they've been at this since 1968. It is the sign you have the very best. If you have their sign in your yard, here's the deal. They love to come out and give you free estimates. They love to come out and help you with project design because, let's face it, not all of us know exactly what we want. But, boy, if you see it in a picture and they've got an extensive digital photo gallery, then you know when you see it what you want in your backyard. They've got beautiful fences and decks, and they've got pergolas in screen rooms and custom sunrooms. You'll love working with Chesterfield Fence and Deck, highly rated by the Better Business Bureau. Go to chesterfieldfence.com.
Missouri has been hijacked by the crooks in Jefferson City. Career politician rhinos sell us out every chance they get. We need real conservative Bill Eigel. Eigel's plan: ban China from owning 1 inch of Missouri land, end personal property tax, and deport every single illegal immigrant in Missouri. Listen to conservative Bill Eigel.
We'll round up illegal immigrants and get rid of them, period. We'll ban Chinese ownership of our land and take back everything they stole. And we'll go by how God made us, not some stupid woke pronouns. They'll call us racist, sexist, God knows what else. And that's how we'll know we're winning.
Conservative Bill Eigel. He'll take on the woke mob, send illegals back where they came from, and stop the Jeff City crooks hijacking Missouri. Conservative Bill Eigel for governor. Believe in Life and Liberty PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this communication. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.billpac.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. For a limited time, save $55 off a new water heater. Air Comfort Service not only installs attic insulation and HVA systems, they also install water heaters. For a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
There's a music station that fits your taste at Odyssey.com. Download the app for instant access to hundreds of music stations and listen live to 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it or stream from 971talk.com.
Hit it. This ain't no disco.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
It ain't no country club either.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Have a little fun before I die. There's a man next to me out of nowhere. It's apropos of nothing. He says his name is William. I'm sure he's Bill or Billy or Mac or Buddy. And he's playing ugly to
Welcome
me.
back to the Annie Fry Show. It's Election Day in Missouri. Happy primary day. Hope you have remembered to go out and cast your votes for the candidates that you choose. We are very much so looking forward to finding out who the Republicans and Democrats will be on the actual general election ballot. And that is going to be here before you know it. It will be Election Day in 91 days. And, oh my gosh, what are we going to talk about afterwards? I guess it depends on who wins.
Yeah, depending on who wins the election, we'll probably talk about that.
Yeah. If Kamala Harris wins, we're not. When Joe Biden won last time, I didn't want to talk about anything.
No, I know.
It was hard.
Well, you know what's weird? In 2020, though, there was so much consternation and struggle about, well, are they going to challenge this state and that state? There was still a lot going on. If it's a clear-cut election and you lose, yeah, you don't want to come in the next day. That sucks. You don't want to come in the next month.
More Wiggins America?
More Wiggins America. Here are some situations I'd really like to know what you think about these and if you have any advice to these people. In this particular instance, it's a group of people, Gen Zers, aren't having children because of this scary reason. It says more than half of 18 to 34-year-olds are choosing not to have children due to financial challenges, according to newly released data from Australian research company.
Well, they should vote for Trump and have babies. That's really J.D. Vance's message. It is.
That's funny because this article came out before J.D. Vance.
Well, there's a solution for you, folks.
That's funny. That's very
simple. Vote for Trump, afford babies.
Do you think that's driving people to vote, like among Gen Z?
So they can have babies?
Well, the financial aspect.
Yeah, I think it will.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's the economy, stupid. That's not something that's a new concept. I retweeted a video compilation of a bunch of, these folks on, they're not folks. They're too young to be folks. They're Gen Zers. And I will never understand being at rock bottom and being like, I need to video this. I've been at rock bottom a few times in my life. I would hide. I would, go into some sort of solitude and, slap myself in the face in the mirror and say, get yourself together, Annie, and go back out and try to take on the day. And a lot of people in Gen Z are like, I could monetize this. So maybe in that way, they're more capitalistic than I am. I don't know. But they sit in their cars and they go on and on about how they can't afford anything. They give prices of rent. They give prices of buying homes. And they say, how does anybody afford this? And there are a lot of them saying this, presumably on TikTok. I usually see them by the time they get to Twitter, X, or whatever. It's a huge deal for these younger folks who are struggling to afford the basics. They go to college. They probably way overspent on college. A side note, you know why college is so gosh darn expensive? Because the government has willfully decided to fund every single dollar that the institutions decide to charge for an overbloated, overly expensive degree that will never pay you back. The reason why those prices don't come down is because the dollar is always guaranteed to the university to be there because we hand out student loans that nobody has to pay back. The universities get paid by the loans that are given out via you through the federal government to fund institutions that, ironically, turn people into liberals. What a cycle that we should interrupt. But with all that being said, you overpay for college, you get a degree that might pay you. I mean, today you might come out of college making $50,000 or $60,000. Do you know what I would have given to make $50,000 or $60,000 coming out of college when I graduated in 2006? I was really super excited when the radio station I was working for called me to extend my unpaid internship. There were no jobs that were like that then. It was hard to make it then, but everything cost less then, and we're just talking about 20 years ago. I do think more people are going to be paying attention to the economy. The question is, do they want more opportunity or do they want more provision? Because if they're looking for handouts or hand-ups, that's the difference in your vote.
Does Kamala Harris have an economic message?
Yes, I actually have it right here. And I think it's important that I'm glad that you asked this because it's very important that people do understand where Kamala Harris is on the economy.
All that, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, that is called Bidenomics. That is called Bidenomics, and we are very proud of Bidenomics.
This, more of the same.
Yeah. Because I've never heard, I mean, she's not saying anything right now, let alone anything economic, but she isn't.
She says words.
She's saying some scripted lines that are mostly against Trump and Vance, but she's not outlining anything as far as a vision for the next 4 years.
She doesn't have to. Nobody's asking her questions.
I was going to say it's been over 2 weeks and she hasn't had to
when
answer
you
a
listen
question.
when you listen to JD Vance at the end of that 4-minute clip that we played about his new VP opponent in the race, the last thing he says is he's really actually pretty nice about it. He's like, guys, I really like all of you. I think you're good people, at least all of the ones of you that I know. But you got to do a better job. You got to. I'm standing here. I'll take any question you throw at me. We get asked hostile questions. We answer the questions. We show up in anywhere that needs to be shown up to answer your questions. Go find Kamala and ask her a single one. Do your job. And then he's like, "It was good talking to you guys."
Yeah. See ya. I think he was on a plane and he just kind of walks away. Yeah, and he's got to keep hitting that.
And this is when he was at the border.
Oh, was he? Okay. He did a few in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, a lot of them.
But he's got to keep hitting that because that has got to be a major point of contention between him. He used to be, he's the presumptive VP choice for the Republican Party. And then Kamala was going to be the VP choice and they were going to go head to head. So I would love seeing the dichotomy between those two and him challenging her to talk more. He's got to do it.
Do you have any more?
I do. And this one's a little bit more goofy, but I still, I need a female perspective on this.
Boyfriend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I'm talking to Brad.
Careful.
Boyfriend packs ridiculous overnight bag, including many things that his wife does not need.
Wait, what?
Okay. It's a boyfriend. His girlfriend is pregnant, and she's going to the hospital. And the situation is, she goes to the hospital, she didn't have a bag packed, and they tell her, hey, you're ready to deliver.
Can you go back to the boyfriend, wife?
Packs ridiculous overnight bag for, did I say wife instead of girlfriend? Yes. Okay, so
I was only hung up on the boyfriend and the wife.
There's only one woman
Can you start over?
Involved in this
Because I have thoughts on that, but go on.
Okay. All right. So she goes into the hospital. She's very pregnant, ready any day. They tell her that when she's in the hospital, you're ready now. You are going to deliver this baby. She is shocked. She says, oh my gosh, she calls her boyfriend. Boyfriend packs a bag, brings it for her because, hey, she wasn't ready for this. She's ready to go now.
Does it say how far along she is?
No, but she had to be real close.
Well, I mean, you could go to the hospital because you're experiencing something, and they could say, "Oh, you're going to deliver this baby." But to me, if you could hear that at 28 weeks, and I would understand why she didn't pack her bag. If it's 40 weeks in and she goes in, then I'm like, you should have had your own bag.
34 weeks.
That's borderline.
Okay, so she's 34
If you were
weeks
like me,
pregnant.
you found out you were pregnant, and you're like, pack the freaking bag.
Yeah, I'm going to the
Just
hospital
in
now.
case.
So the expectant mother asked her boyfriend, whose name happens to be Ryan, to
Did he make a mistake?
to pack this bag. And when she gets the bag, she begins to unpack it.
Mm-hmm.
Is
it like the PlayStation?
He did not bring anything like towels or underwear or makeup bag. He did bring some shower gel, 3 toothbrushes.
One for the baby's new teeth. Would that be the creepiest thing ever?
That baby might have some chompers. You don't know.
Yeah.
And you want to keep them clean.
Got to keep them clean. Just good parenting.
But also not just a couple of random things and missing a lot of the key things, but he also put a couple of going out to town dresses, like you're going out drinking dresses.
I don't believe any of this.
More hair gel and a whistle
Ryan,
in case of emergencies.
What is this?
This is from the New York Post. So I thought,
Does the New York Post start with like Reddit reported that blah blah blah? Is this am I the butthole?
I'm glad you asked.
Is it?
What was that? Could you say that again? Can you say that again in context?
I said, am I the butthole?
And what does that mean?
You've never heard of the Reddit, I can't say the other word on the air. The FCC won't let me.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But
we'll
I know
catch
what the
up on the
phrase
break
means.
on obvious cultural references that everybody else understands.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because no, the first line of the sentence is, it's safe to say he fumbled the bag.
Well done, New York Post. They're the only ones doing a good job here.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. I don't know why. I just thought this story was really funny, and I wondered if you'd ever been in that situation. I think that I would be smart enough to know, not that situation, but where you've had to have somebody else pack a bag for you. Maybe your husband really didn't get what was going on. I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Jared's way better than that. He was also my husband, not my boyfriend. Good for him for still being in the picture, the boyfriend. Hopefully he's also the father. I guess I just inferred. Maybe he's not.
Well, it's safe to say he fumbled the bag.
Did you just want to say that?
I kind of did.
Okay. All right.
And thank you that we got that out there because that was the most important thing for me to read.
I could tell. You've said it 3 times. And you said it like this every time. He fumbled the bag.
It's the best part of reading the New York Post. Their first line is fantastic.
You need
every
chapstick,
story.
you need lotion, you need a set of pajamas that isn't restraining on your waistline, especially if you have a C-section, which I did not have, but like a nightgown of something. If you're breastfeeding, you need quick access, so keep that in mind. Maybe a robe so that you can be comfortable, slippers so you don't have to put your feet on the cold floor, and snacks.
No, like out on the town dresses. That's the part that cracked me up the most.
I mean, like if I know that there are husbands listening right now that remember that moment, and if you pulled that out for your wife after she just had a baby, you'd get jacked in the face and you'd deserve it. You would be like, all right, hit me. You'd get in line.
Man, I remember going to sleep in the parking lot of Mercy Hospital right over here and thinking
Was this last week?
It was late. I didn't want to go all the way home. I've been sleeping in a lot of parking lots lately. Having trouble making the bills.
We had to change that in your next contract.
But I went to sleep. There was nowhere for me in the room. I don't know why I had to leave, but I went out to my car, fell asleep for about 2 hours thinking, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be a dad.
Did they kick
I don't
you
know.
out?
I don't think so.
Is it possible?
I really don't remember why I went out to the car to sleep because
Did they
they
just
have
go,
those little couches in there.
Ryan, I'm sorry, but you need to leave.
No, they did not say that.
You were the father of the baby.
Maybe they told my
Babies?
wife that and she told me nicely and I don't know it.
Maybe your wife told them and they told you nicely.
Maybe. I really don't remember. But now that I'm telling the story, I'm going, why was I in the car? Why did I go in the car? I really don't know.
Why are you telling us this story?
Well, it's just related because that's
Did you pack the bag?
no, she had her bags already packed and everything. So that was all fine. But I didn't know what to do. I'm sitting there. I mean, her labor was long, especially for the twins. And we were just sitting there.
Did she have a C-section?
She did not.
That a girl.
I know.
Oh, man.
Hey, let me tell you what. On the third
Ugh.
baby, she did not have anything, even including an epidural.
Happened too fast?
Oh, she chose it.
Good for her.
She chose it. And now I don't.
I was coming in going, I'll take 2.
she did not have an epidural for, and that was a 10-pound baby.
Did she?
Full natural.
Did she, was there a period in time while that was taking place that she was regretful?
I think during it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Was she like, why didn't I take the epidural?
And you know, I would really like to know the answer to this because when I've asked, and it doesn't come up a lot, but when I've asked recently, I say, are you still glad that you did the third river completely natural?
The third baby.
Yeah, the third baby.
His named River.
His name is River. Yeah. You're glad he went down to the river. And she kind of doesn't answer the question. She's almost like,
Wait, that you did it natural, not that you had River.
that you did it fully natural. And she's almost like, it's almost like she goes into trauma.
Yeah.
Just kind of pauses and goes, yeah. And that's about it. Like, I don't really push, I'm like, okay, you pushed enough. I won't push now. So it was a little joke for you guys there.
I know. I've wanted you to explain it to us. But it was a joke. That's why I waited.
Yeah, but no, she never did. We had to induce because they were twins and they were just getting big.
Yeah.
So we had to do that one.
That's amazing.
But River that was all natural. And it was a situation where we went in and I was praying, God, please, please don't let this happen overnight because the last one, it was just bad. Please let this happen during the day.
Inconvenient for you.
Just during the day because I'll be awake, I'll be able to help, and I won't be
in the
falling
parking
asleep.
lot.
I won't go in the parking lot for no reason.
That's why they sent
Fall
you out
asleep
there.
out there.
All right, push real hard. He's gone. No, I am team. However you need to have that baby and be healthy, whatever it takes, you got to do. You do.
Yeah.
And
but I did, and we went in the day, and they said, "No, you're not quite ready." It sent us back home. The labor started 10 p.m. I'm like, oh no, because I knew I was going to have to help with that one because it was all natural. So it was a full overnight where I was.
Ryan,
I mean, I want
to punch you in the face right now. You need to
so hard
stop.
on me.
Stop. Stop. 10-pound baby en naturel, and you are upset about being awake overnight?
I was not upset. I was disappointed that I would not be there to help her as much.
For the benefit of the YouTube channel and the algorithm, just put this video of Ryan complaining about having to be awake overnight while his wife gave birth without an epidural, and the comments that we will get will really help the channel. And Ryan, you just shouldn't look at the video.
I won't. And I want it noted on the video. Sometimes I feel like I give too much.
Oh my God. Go to break.
And in that situation, I was concerned that I couldn't give enough.
Mm-hmm.
Annie, I couldn't give enough.
I don't even
I gave it my all.
I don't even like your tone.
The tone is great.
I don't know. It's not.
It's
It's
connecting
terrible.
with people.
People are turning their radio off right now or breaking them. Enough.
It's the Missouri primary.
It's the Missouri primary day. It's almost here and over. We'll have the results for you live here at 97.1 with Mark Reardon. He'll be in studio here at 3 o'clock, and we'll be right back with the results of today's YouTube live chat poll. Who's weird? Republicans, Democrats, both, or neither? We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
RulerFoods.com if you're looking to get a little snack for tonight, election results as they are rolling in. Stop by Ruler Foods and save on those snacks. It's a smart move. You can also have delivery through Ruler Foods. Go to RulerFoods.com and you'll be able to see the most recent ad that champions the different things that they have extra on sale right now, like delicious fresh cherries, $2.99 a pound, seedless red or white grapes, $1.27 a pound, and seedless watermelon or cantaloupe, $2.99 each. You'll be able to see that and everything that they have listed for extra discount on that ad at rulerfoods.com, but you can also schedule your delivery and have those savings shipped directly to you. RulerFoods.com has all the information that you need to know, especially to find the one closest to you. If you haven't taken the time to stop by Ruler Foods yet, take the time this afternoon or this evening. After you've gone to vote, swing by the one closest to you. They are on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois, and they will help you save on your grocery bill. Like I said, you can go online to learn more about the one closest to you, to find the most recent ad, and also to schedule a delivery if you so choose. RulerFoods.com.
Help if you want to sell your home as is. Help doesn't matter the condition it's in. Help if you want a simple sale with no agency fees. Claiming groups got you covered, no contingency. House a mess, roof damage, bad taxes, that's all okay. Make sure you remember to call Claiming Real Estate.
Let us help you. ClaimingGroup.com. KLAMEN Group.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
You guys, who's weird? Republicans, Democrats, both, or neither? You can vote in this poll. You got a few minutes. We're going to give you the results in just a minute. It is
Over
the YouTube
300 votes right now.
All right, YouTube live chat poll. Who's weird? Let us know. 250. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Fry Show.
My grandma and your grandma sitting by the fire. My grandma told your grandma, I'm gonna set your flag on fire. Talk about head now, head now, head now, head now. I go one day. Giacomo Finane, Giacomo Finane.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Stock market up about 453 points right now. Nowhere near the disaster that was yesterday, but we'll have to wait and see in the long haul. As we said that yesterday, crash on Monday. Who knows what it'll be by Friday?
And crash Friday, too. Friday through Monday.
That's
and
right.
I was looking at the overall last 5 days. We have had a bounce back here. That's typically what happens after a massive fall in 1 or 2 days in a row. But we're still down over the last 5 days by over 3%.
I looked at my 401k today. I know everyone's like, don't do that. But I want to know. I'm not familiar enough with this type of stuff because I'm 40 and I've been saving, trying to do what I need to do to take care of myself. But when economic stuff like this happens, I want to understand it better. And I wasn't really happy with the number that I saw when I logged in. So I guess that just...
You and everybody.
Yeah. That goes without saying. The YouTube poll for today, who's weird? Republicans, Democrats, both, or neither? Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, named the vice presidential candidate in a very weird pick on Kamala Harris's part. And I've seen comments like another reliably dumb decision by Kamala Harris to pick Tim Walz. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best you could do, grand slam, hit the ball out of the park, pick, this is like a 2. Because Cori Bush might be available. Maybe she's like the one. Set the standard. Like, maybe you could come up with worse. I don't understand. I've seen some people that are on the left being like, I'm trying to see anything that I don't like about Tim Walz. And I'm like, well, of course you wouldn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just super far left stuff.
Yeah, it's a home run for you. But if you're moderate, or of course on the right, you're going, what? What do you think about it?
As far as the poll goes, or just overall?
No, Tim Walz.
Tim Walz, I just don't. I don't think she had a great pick. I don't think of the options.
You don't think Shapiro would have been a smart pick?
I don't. No, I don't think he really moves the needle much either. I don't really think anybody that she was looking at was going to do what she needed to happen. I mean, he's got a little bit of that grandpa kind of figure thing going on, but is that really what you want?
I think that Shapiro would have provided an immense amount of stability to the ticket in Pennsylvania. And, I mean, boy, that might get you the presidency. I don't think Tim Walz is anything for it.
No, I don't
What do you think, Brad?
I think Tim Walz is a terrible pick. I think he's
Hooray!
awful. Yeah, so hooray for us, right?
Did you feel relief?
Yeah, because like whenever you said you were laying in bed and that popped up on Fox News, and I did the same thing. I wasn't in bed, but I was up getting ready for work, and I looked and I was like, oh, who'd he pick? And I'm 100% this is going to be Shapiro. Pop it open. I was like, what? Tim? Okay.
Between those two, I wasn't worried at all. I thought Mark Kelly would have been the best pick that she had just because he, I don't know. Just something about him.
Pulling Mark Kelly out of Arizona is not a bright move for Arizona, and the Senate is super, super competitive.
Yeah.
Let's get to the YouTube poll. Who's weird? Republicans, Democrats, both, or neither? We got over 300, almost 320 votes here in the poll. Let us know what you think. You can hurry up. You got to get there within like 90 seconds. Vote on the Andy Fry YouTube channel. Who's weird? Do you think I don't think you're going to say that Republicans are weird necessarily, but what's your answer to this poll?
I would love to have some sort of creative answer to this poll, but I'm going to say Democrats. Republicans tend to be, just generally speaking, more about traditional values. J.D. Vance has kind of highlighted that. Moving away from what America's been built on, which is the family unit.
Moving away from what has been.
Unburdened by what has been.
Wait, I think I finally understand it.
Yeah, I do too. And it took J.D. Vance.
So you're Democrats. What about you, Brad?
Yeah, I was like thinking in my brain, it's probably both. But the more I thought about it, the more these TikToks of these crazy leftists kept popping into my head, screaming about whatever, or filming themselves crying or whatever. Like, man, yeah, it's definitely Democrats.
I am 100% Democrats. The entire premise of what the Democrat Party has been, the whole idea of diversity, equity, and inclusion, is to essentially say, take things that society normally considered to be weird and make it normal. And they've been pretty successful at doing that. And now normal looks weird. So happily here, if the left looks at me or you, Ryan, or you, Brad, and goes, they're so weird. I'm like, well, I would hope you'd think I'm weird because I see what you think is normal. The results are in. 4% said neither. 24% said both.
Okay.
18% Republicans. A sound majority, 54%, say Democrats are the weird ones with 324 votes. So thank you, everybody, for participating. All the coverage, all of the results on 97.1 tonight. Mark Reardon's going to take it over here at 3, and he is basically here for the rest of the day. Pretty excited about that. So do not change the channel. 97.1, we've got you covered for all of the results of the Missouri primary.
I'm Robert Cornejo. It is an honor to serve as judge for St. Charles County, the community that I am proud to be raising my family in. In my courtroom, I follow the Constitution and the rule of law. I'm not here to legislate from the bench. I'm here to ensure justice is carried out efficiently and fairly. My number one priority as a judge is to make sure this is a safe community for families like mine.
Robert Cornejo served in the Missouri House, where he defended the sanctity of life, prevented illegal immigrants from receiving taxpayer-subsidized tuition, fought against big government, and strengthened our Second Amendment rights. Judge Robert Cornejo is endorsed by the St. Louis County Police Association and Eastern Missouri Coalition of Police for his work to keep St. Charles County safe. Judge Cornejo also has the support of local firefighters.
When you cast your vote, I hope that you will allow me, Judge Robert Cornejo, to be the next circuit judge for St. Charles County.
Paid for by friends of Robert Cornejo. Allison Onder, Treasurer.
WindowWorldSTLewis.com. That's Window World Lewis. I want you to understand how customer-centric Window World is in the replacement window business. When you call them at 314-993-1800 and you're talking to local people, St. Louis people, you are going to quickly understand why so many St. Louisans on the Illinois and Missouri side of the river are choosing Window World. Again, WindowWorldSTLewis.com. They provide a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. And they are there to define the strength of their Window World replacement windows and the quality of them. They're not going to high pressure you into making a purchase that you're not interested in. They're going to show you why their windows are the best and trust you to obviously make the best decision for you and for your home. And right now, they are offering up to 36 months, same as cash financing, with approved credit. Call my friends and tell them Annie sent you. 314-993-1800. WindowWorldSTLewis.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call